Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. How are you doing this evening?
How's everybody tonight? Hey, it's Friday night.
It is Friday night. All right, so before we get started and things go south right away, let us know if the audio is good, if you can hear us well. You can hear Fabiola, all the mics are running. A little bit of background music. If it's too loud, let us know. Just down in the chat window, let us know if audio is coming through good.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Because we had some problems. Says audio is okay. Hey. Thanks a lot. It's Ranch Dad 49. Thank you very much for that.
Welcome everybody for being here tonight. We're so excited. We figured we'd start a little bit later tonight to see if it would give everybody a chance to,
actually eat dinner.
Yeah, and just, have a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go live.
And my glasses are going on, so hopefully you guys can see my eyeballs. I don't know.
I know. Last time they're like, "Where's your eyes?"
Because I had those blue light things, so I don't know.
Blue blockers or something.
You need a blue blocker.
What shirts you got on tonight?
Oh, I was feeling very rock tonight, so tonight I'm wearing Def Leppard. Anybody?
Sweet. I put a Starlink shirt on, but I kind of made a mistake. What can you see?
It's
Stark.
Yeah, I know it's Stark.
Industries, yeah. So
yeah, a little bit of Iron Man action. I mean, you have been doing some stuff for St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Yes.
You've been doing the push-ups to raise money. So thank you to everybody who's been donating on that.
Oh man,
it's awesome.
I know.
It's
Matter
a great
of fact,
cause.
I'm gonna before the end of this live show, I want to look to see what the donations are for St. Jude's Research Children's Hospital. A lot of you guys have been giving. We're a third of the way, let's just call it, of the month so far. And the last time I looked, I think we were at like $1,000 or something.
Over 1,000, yeah.
Is it over 1,000?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that would be great. My goal is 3,000 push-ups, $3,000, $1 a push-up. So, by the time this month is over, maybe I'll be jacked. Maybe not.
Could happen.
I don't know. I'll try. Anyways, guys, I hope you're having a good Friday night hanging out with us.
Yes.
It is a very interesting one this week. There's been so much going on, a lot. Not all having to do with Starlink either. It's just a lot of different things going on, I guess, in the world. So maybe we'll get into something. Anything that you guys want to talk about tonight, we're here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna
questions that you have, put a Q before the questions, so
or
this way we can find it.
JCristina.
Or at JCristina.
Yeah, that
it
helps
makes
a lot
it
too.
Really easy to find, especially when there's like a lot of chat going on. Especially when last time we had like 200 people almost, I think. 160, 170. I don't know. A lot of people. It was a lot of chats going on.
No, it's great though. It's good.
Fantastic.
So we're gonna kind of go back because I know we already have ton of questions.
Yeah.
So.
Well, before we go into the question, I want to say hello to Eric. How are you doing? Phil's Camping Touring. How's everything? Cowboy John 88. How are you doing? Let's see. Sharky Music. Thank you so much for the super chat. As we always say, super chats are warmly welcome. We do appreciate them. Last time there was so many super chats. It was like, wow, it's a blessing.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. John K. Wolf, how are you doing? Ranch Dad 49 once again. How are you doing? Michael. Let's see. Tom, how's everything going, Tom? Thank you for being here. Peter, you're back. Glad to see you. Memorable places. Awesome. Let's see here. You're going to sneeze?
Yeah. Look at that.
Folks, look at this. You see this? I even have a special button here. This is a sneeze button just for her. She
just
pushes
for me.
it. Boom. Mic off.
I'm allergic to work. That's what it is. I figured it out. I put in my day, my week, and then he makes me come. So I'm here. I'm back.
All right. Well, I'm glad I got you
that
button.
I have this mute button. It's special. I'm special now.
Oh my God. Rubicon, how are you doing today? Clifton, how are you? How do you pronounce
Peter.
that? Bijarn. Bijarn?
Where?
Bijarn.
Bijarn. I think it's Bijarn.
All right. How are you doing? Joe, we have Jean. How's everything? Yes. That's a nice one. There you go. Yes.
Hello
Ian.
from Croatia. Hey.
Nice. Croatia. Robert, how's everything? Jason.
John Henry.
Arnie, you're back. Arnie is here. Thank you for being here.
Robert Fralick. Hello.
Jim. Rick. How are you doing, Rick?
The crew from Texas, Flying Pretzel.
Flying Pretzel is here. There's a lot of folks. We got Scott just got here. Tuscan got here. Excellent. There's a bunch here, almost 100 people already.
Howdy, y'all.
Thank you once again for being here, TGIF. We're awesome. It's just awesome to be here and just be able to hang out with you guys on Fridays, because this is like one of those things we always say we're going to do like an hour and a half, and the next thing you know, there's so many questions going on, and we're talking about all kinds of awesome stuff, and then 3 hours
and then time goes by, flies by when you're having fun.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into some of these questions, starting up at the top. What do we got going there, Phil?
Oh, I love that Eric said you two are awesome, kind of like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde, because y'all are killing it. Thanks. I love that. My daughter might get a little upset because she thinks her and her husband are Bonnie and Clyde, so I don't know.
All right. Yeah, so be careful.
Yeah, be careful. All right, Eric, I don't understand the math there unless it is taking into account for the other 8,000 satellites being the big V2 satellites. Can you make sense of that?
What is this saying here?
Sorry, I missed the top question.
Yeah, Google AI Bard.
Yep.
It says that Starlink is now capable of supporting 1 million subscribers, even though they have 1.5 million. Bard is stupid. It also says that Starlink gets 12,000 satellites in orbit. They can support. Okay, so 12,000 satellites going to be able to support 100 million. I don't know. See, all of these AI systems, a lot of them, they smoke dope. And this is really the bottom line. No, I think so. Because you ask questions and it just gives just stupid responses. And if you don't know any better, you will literally think that it is real. And that's one of the things that kind of bothers me with the AI stuff. It's really good for certain things, but then if you quiz it on things that you really know, it's just off. It's just not right. And the thing is there's no citation, there's no nothing. It's not like I expect peer review, because we know that's a bunch of BS, but still something that would kind of attribute it to the answer to something, this, that, and this, that, and the other thing, right? But it doesn't. It just says these facts that are actually fictitious. So anyways, right now there's 4,000 Starlink satellites in orbit. And out of those 4,000, half of them, let's call it, are version 1.0s that do not have lasers on board, communication lasers. The other half have communication lasers, which would be 1.5s. And there's currently, I think, 40, let's call it 40, of the version 2.0 minis. Those are the badass ones that they just launched, but they're not in operational orbit as of yet. So that's what we have. 1.5 is what we are supporting right now. I would have to say with what's up there right now, they could probably support 2 million, right around there. But there is going to be degradation. I mean, it slows down. You guys remember before they started launching these 1.5s, things started getting a little bit stupid. Got really slow for a while. And now, even the video that I just did today, I actually showed speeds. Yeah. And I hit a download speed of like 270 something. You guys can check in today's video. 276, let's call it, megabits down. I haven't seen that since beta days, like all the way from the beginning. So it is getting better. Not for everyone, all right, but it is getting better. The upload speeds are still being just really throttled. Let's call it a soft throttle now. Not a hard throttle, but soft. Anyways.
Good.
What do we got?
All right. John Wolf, hi from Texas, is going to be
doing,
a
John?
Crazy night. Yes.
Gonna be late.
Ranch Dad, question. Was there an upgrade to the dish and a router 7 days ago, and was it related to the FCC approval version 2023 12.2 router new version 2023.19?
Yeah, MR 23980. So we were on, it was Friday when the update happened, and hundreds of thousands of people went down for 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
We didn't go down because we were streaming with multiple channels or multiple internet providers. We're streaming right now. Matter of fact, let me just switch over real quick to the other screen so you guys can see this. All right, so here is the Speedify. We currently have T-Mobile going as well as Starlink, and they're both sending a couple of megabits each. And on here, you'll see it says streaming with bonding. You'll see that during the broadcast, it'll say streaming with redundancy. It'll say redundant. And what that means is it's mirroring the packets to make sure that we don't go down. It's doing bonding right now because everything is up to snuff. Both channels or both networks are doing well, so it doesn't need. Now there you go, boom, it just went over to streaming redundantly. That means either Starlink or T-Mobile had a little glitch and it's like, wait a second, before things get screwy and then we get pixelized and we look like Minecraft characters, let's go ahead and start streaming redundantly. And that's what it's doing right now. Anyways, so we went down, or everyone went down last Friday, but we don't know as of yet if it has to do with the FCC's approval to do this new, let's say, increased speed. Well, it's not really, I guess it is going to increase speed. Basically, it's allowing for the dish to communicate with the satellites for a longer period of time. And I talked about that today in today's video also. So do we know if that's what it is as of yet? We don't. But I can say that we are increasing speeds. So if that has to do with the FCC or not, I'm really not sure. But we'll get into more of that before the end of this live, I'm sure.
Cool.
Let's see.
Nothing on the board.
Michael says nothing on board this time.
Sharky Music. Have you heard about the limited time offer from Starlink to buy a flat inch motion dish?
Yeah,
for $1,900. I tried to redeem the offer and nothing happened.
Really? That's interesting. Yes. So Starlink right now, SpaceX is doing this thing where you can get a business class dish for $1,900 instead of $2,500, which is $600 off. If you don't know the difference, these business class dishes are actually like 22 inches by 21 inches. They're basically square and they're a lot bigger. Whereas the normal ones are like, let's say 21 inches by like 15. So they're more rectangular, right? So you get a lot more of, let's say, a bigger array. So it's not that you're gonna get more speed. You do get more speed because they give you more speed, but the actual dish isn't the one that's providing the additional speed. What the dish is actually providing with the larger array is it's giving you a better, let's say more or better connectivity with the satellites overhead, because there's more, let's say, receptors or nodes in that array that is bringing in, or mini antennas, let's call it, that's bringing in the information. So for me, I would not spend $1,900 on that as of right now, because I don't think it's worth it. I think what you could do is, if you wanted to get better speed, you can use your same dish, not get the big one, unless you have like a lot of rain fade or something that you need the bigger dish for. But you can actually get that high speed commercial, let's say corporate or business class, and just pay for it extra per month and get that premium, let's call it. They call it priority access, which you get a little bit more down speed. So you get guaranteed of like 220 in comparison to the residential, or now they call it standard, of 100 megabits down. So it's not bad. Either way, it's
pretty
not bad.
Good.
I wouldn't spend the extra money, even though it's $600 off. That's my personal opinion. I'm cheap.
No comment.
She knows it.
Okay. Ranch Dad, any update on the operational status of Mini V2?
Yes. Well, as of right now, I have not seen any in operation. Matter of fact, every once in a while I'll look on starlink.sx. If you guys have never been there before, you should take a look. I'll just bring it up while we're talking so you can see what it's looking like. Let me see. It's called Starlink. S is in Sally, X is in X-ray. You can put that in there if you want, Fab. Let me go ahead and switch over to my screen and move this over, and there we go. Let's see if we can get that to come up. Starlink.sx. Let's see if that pops up. It should. There we go. Okay, so it says starting simulation. So what this is, guys, is this will show you a proximity of where all of the satellites are, as well as the ground stations and everything else. So we're over here in Toronto. Let's back up just a little bit. So this is the US. This green dot is where I'm located, right here. Now, as you can see, there are these little dots flying by. If I hover over this green dot, you can see it says version 1.5. If I hover over the blue dot, it says version 1.0. Remember, the 1.5s are better. The 1.5s are the ones that have lasers, that have data communication lasers. Now you see this yellow dot right here? If I hover over that, it's saying that it is a version 1.5 also. But see, it's out. It's not connecting to anything because it's over the ocean. The ones that have the lines are the ones that we're currently able to use. So if I come down here next to us, I'm here in green. I can connect to this one over here, 1.0, this one, which is a 1.5. Then we have a 1.5 coming by and a 1.0 coming by. So there's a lot. Now these little orange dots are ground stations. So we have a ground station in Fort Lauderdale, a ground station in Punta Gorda, and then we have a ground station in Del Leon Springs. So there's 3 in Florida. Actually, there's one all the way up in the tip up here also. But do you see these little purple marks here? These are POPs, or point of presence. If you take a look at where you're located, the point of presence closest to you should be the one that you're using. But guess what? It's not for me. We're right here in this green dot. This is what I should be using, but instead I'm using this all the way over here. Number one will indicate what your POP is, or where it's being used, or where your data is going through. 650 some miles north. That's what we're using. Sweet. Why is that? I don't know. It's annoying, but that's the way it is. So anyways, it's a really cool site for you to check out, and you'll be able to see when those version 2.0 satellites start coming by, and eventually they'll come online. Normally, the height or the altitude for them to become operational is around 550, 540 kilometers. So if they're below that, they still haven't got to an operational height. They're not going to come online. I'm thinking those version 2s should be coming online within the next week or two. At least the first batch of 20. They blew up a couple. Some I think some re-entered and then blew up. But I think there's like 40 out of the 42 that they launched.
That happened last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
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 Memorable places. Oh, we're so happy that you arrived, so we were able to start. It's awesome. Wants to know, any idea if there are any rumors of Starlink providing any true tech support anytime? Only today did I get a response, and it was automated or cut and paste, non-responsive junk.
Yeah, I know. I call it cut and paste. It's so you'll probably have technical support when I print up a shirt that instead of it's the Tony Stark shirt, right? That's the SpaceX Starlink technical support shirt. When you see that, then you know you'll be able to come here and we got technical support. Until then,
I thought that's what you've been doing.
That's what I've been doing for 146 videos. I've been
doing
Starlink
only
technical support.
146?
Yeah, and Elon reaches out all the time, and he just says thank you for all of my
It's not
hard work.
It's not April Fool's.
I mean, he doesn't?
No.
All right, he doesn't.
That's good stuff. What do we have here? We have loving the fact that I can actually stream this now with my Starlink. The path to Maine, yes. Hi from the UK, Jason.
How are you doing, Jason? UK, wow.
Arnie, good evening. I have to follow the 2 live streams this evening, one long JC live and one short 1 hour back. Nice. 40 firewood starting at 8.
There you go.
Let's see.
I'm going to do a picture-in-picture. You can
Kyle,
just swap between the two.
Kyle Scott said, was just watching your last video, and I appreciate you doing your videos. Been on the waiting list for a year for Starlink. Just received the best effort 3 weeks ago, and in 2 weeks residential.
Well, congratulations on that.
That's awesome.
It took us 8 months to get off the waiting list, let's say, and to actually get the SpaceX Starlink kit to come in. So 8 months for us. It took a bit. Yeah. But I'm happy that it's here, obviously. If not, I wouldn't be doing all this, right?
Right. No, it's true. Kyle said also it's a game changer for his area. Justin, thank you so much for the legwork. Appreciate it greatly.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any questions that you have, put a Q before the question. Also, don't forget to tell us if you are, even if you're not using Starlink, what are you using for your internet access and what are you getting? What is the speed that you're getting and what are you paying for it? Because there's a lot of people out there that are getting fiber, but then there's a lot of other folks that are sitting in the rural areas or the let's say, commercial areas where you're a little bit outside of the suburbs. And now it's basically, like I was saying, a digital divide. You have the haves and the have-nots. The haves actually have high-speed internet access, and the have-nots simply don't. Either they do not have internet, or the internet is so slow they might as well not even have it. Mm-hmm. So let us know where you sit on that I guess, on the spectrum.
See, I'm not the only one. Inquiring minds want to know. Tom, What do you think of the new Twitter CEO?
Holy shit.
I told you. Somebody was
Guys, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, when I saw that it was like an NBCU person, and then I did a little bit more research, and this person actually worked also with Trump on things. So then I was saying, well, is she liberal or is she Republican? I didn't know. And then I was looking at the other things that she was doing or she did in the past, and she's very like on the edge, on the line, skirting the line. But then she was also involved with, who was she involved with? Another, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I really don't know how it's going to work out. The one thing that I can say about the Twitter thing is Elon Musk is making absolute crap on Twitter, okay? He's not making money. He's lost about half his money. Let's say he's lost 50% of his money. Now, is he going to make good with it? Yes, I think Twitter's going to do really well. And I think there's going to be a lot of big things happening in the next year or two on Twitter. And I'm happy to be there. I think there's about 18 or 19,000 subs that we have currently on Twitter. I used to use it all the time. Obviously, there's almost 20,000 people that are following me on there. But I stopped because everything damn went freaking crazy. I don't even know what else to say. It went wacky woke. It just went nasty. So I stopped using it. Well, when he came back on board, I am now back using Twitter because now I can actually kind of post what I want to post. And I don't have to worry about like just some kind of, marking that shows that I'm just an idiot, right? Because it was fact checked by someone that doesn't know the facts. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I can say one thing. I think Elon is smart enough that when hiring this person, he's going to be very vigilant about what happens with the company, because once again, he's not making any money. And I think if things go a little bit sideways, this person, she will be out. That's it. I think it's going to happen. But I'm hoping that she's going to be awesome, really, really good. So, the jury's still out. But yeah, that's a really good question. But when I saw it, my initial reaction was, holy shit.
Did you say a bad word?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I said. I'm like, I couldn't even believe it. Right. So anyways, he's getting a lot of flack for it right now as we speak. So if you go on to Twitter, go check it out. He's getting a ton of flack, and he's answering and responding to a bunch of the flack too. I was very surprised about that, but he is actually on it and responding. So check it out.
Nice. All right. Atomic MT said, FYI, Bjorn is pronounced Bjorn. I think. Bjorn? Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Yes.
Bjorn. Okay. Bjorn.
Learn something new.
Appreciate that.
Gene Norman, what is availability of roam service in a waitlist area? Better to order roam service or try to buy a pre-owned system and transfer service?
So...
That's a good question.
Yeah, Roam is gone, right? Now they call it mobile and mobile priority. So I would try getting standard whenever you can. I've always said it really doesn't matter as much anymore because now you have the availability. Before, okay, let me just back up. Before, if you have residential, if you went to mobile or roam at the time, you couldn't go back. You're just gone. The only way you can go back to residential is you have to buy a whole new kit. Well, after they got rid of portability, which was $25, so you can actually roam with your residential, once they got rid of that, they're like, okay, we need to do something here. And they ended up discontinuing the whole idea that you can't go back and forth. So now you can basically go from your mobile to your standard and back and forth as you will. The thing is for mobile, you're going to be paying more. So for me, if you're in an area that it looks like it's going to be coming online soon, and the whole country is coming online really soon. Yeah. There's a lot of where it used to be waiting list all the time. That is like gone.
You're gonna pull up the map.
Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up the map because I just got a DM from someone, and they said that the map has just changed. I think it was like today. And let me see.
Did they update it?
I think it's a Starlink map.
How often do they update the map?
The problem is we don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's
nothing secret.
It's super secret. I think it's like G14 classified secret. And let me see. Here we go. All right. So there's the map. And look at this. If we come into the U.S., all of the light area means that you can get service immediately. This dark area is the only place
it's shrinking
that there's
because
a waiting list.
Yeah, because before it was a lot.
Yeah,
you know.
before this whole entire West Coast was dark. Now there's only a few little patchy patches here and there. So they have done a major overhaul in this system, and they've really opened this up to a lot. Even Florida, it used to be all dark. Now, literally half of it now, the entire South Florida, from Central Florida, or I guess you would say Orlando area, south is all wide open. Anyone here can get a system today if they wanted to. So if you're in an area that is dark, but one of these little
pockets,
there's a little pocket near you. These little pockets are going to start opening up to you. So let's say if you're here in Macon, if you know that this is close to you, that's available now, and Macon says here expanding in 2023, it's probably going to come to you very soon. So I would say just hang in there and get best effort for right now. That's my suggestion, because then you're going to be paying either $110 or $120 a month instead of $150, I think it is, or something, for the mobility version. It's kind of up to you. If you need to move it around, then mobility. If not, just get best effort if you can.
All right. We have Ian said garbage in, garbage out. AI got GTP4.
Yes. That's exactly right. Garbage in, garbage out.
Stephen Carey, why do you think the North Central Florida area is still mobility? I would think Florida should have been early service.
Yeah, I would have to say that it has to do with the ground and not the air. When I say that, I think it has to do with the POPs, and it has to do with the ground stations. They just can't handle the traffic. That's my personal opinion. I don't know, because I don't work for Starlink, obviously. I don't work for SpaceX. But I'm going to venture to say it has something to do with that.
You work for Stark Industries.
That's true. That's right. That's right. But yeah, I would have thought that Florida would have been all up too, but it's not.
Yeah,
Look at this. Yes says it's here, 2:35 in the morning. Wow.
I know.
Yes. Thank you for being here.
I know.
Great band, John says, with the shirt. Awesome.
Audio. Oh, yes.
It says audio is slightly
feeling the rock
faint
today. Maybe because I'm always moving in and out.
Bass. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just keep this nice and close. Maybe I need to turn yours up just here. Let me go. I'll give you just a little bit extra.
Am I too loud or am I too low? Sometimes I just move a lot. I fidget.
Yeah. Stop damn fidgeting.
I should get a fidget spinner.
You should.
Like the kids.
Just sit there and spin it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stark Aerospace is a global. Let's see. Look at Arnie over here. Is a global aerospace and defense manufacturer located in Columbus, MS. Tom says, we got to that one already. Let's come on down here. Let's see.
I was gonna read one and I lost my
Don't lose
spot.
your place. There's a lot we need. Okay.
I know.
So I'm
here.
going to
Michael
pick up the
Riggleman
pace
said, "Well, Starlink has changed my life. I got real internet and working at home in IT, but yes, for 12 years was stuck on 1.5 DSL or slow HughesNet or Viasat. So I mean, Starlink makes a difference for a lot of people, and it has been." But
it really has, and a lot of people. That
it's not perfect.
It's not perfect,
but it's amazing.
Right.
Pretty close.
So, like, if you're doing Zoom conferences, because I do Zoom meetings, I just had a Zoom meeting yesterday. In the past, if we would do a Zoom meeting on Starlink, every once in a while I would go out and they'd be like, "Are you there?" Or I would lose them. I'm using this Speedify thing now where it combines both T-Mobile and the Starlink together. So I never go out anymore. So if you are like a home, let's say if you work out of the home, or you're running a business and you're using Starlink, if you can get a secondary internet connection and bond it together with something like Speedify, I would do that, because it's still non-terrestrial, it's still satellite, and you're going to get some of those little outages. So that's my,
we're a little blurry behind.
Yeah. So anyways, let's bang through these, because there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
We're going to get to everything. Trust me. Hang in there.
Super chat. Oh my
goodness. Who is this from?
Let's find out.
John Ross. Thanks, you, John. Really appreciate those super chats. Very, very nice. Many blessings. Thank you for that.
John K. Wolf, how how your T-Mobile internet doing? I can get 600 download and upload is 60. Is that good?
That is rocking. That is solid. See, our T-Mobile is LTE 4G, so we're only getting about 100 megs maximum down and about 30 megs maximum up. So I have some things planned to fix that, but stay tuned for that. I got a whole project that's in line. We'll see how all the talks and meetings go on that.
Okay, phase change. Does Speedify balance pings, or does it have a true overhead you can see? If one connection is 5 ms and Starlink is 30, what one takes precedent?
So you can set it up however you want. You can set up as primary, you can set something up as secondary, you can set something up as backup. And it's going to determine what it uses based on that priority order that you give it. Right now, as you can see, let me go flip over. Right now I have both Starlink and T-Mobile set up as primary, and you can see both of them are streaming almost identical data. 3 megs on both, 3 megabits both, now 2 megabits of both, 3 megabytes, so on and so forth. And you can see it says streaming redundantly. That means that it is sending mirrored packets, so I cannot go down unless both systems go down simultaneously, which never happens. So anyways, that's basically how it works. You can set it up however you want. And I'm going to do a video, I think, on really getting down into the nitty gritty of it, so that anyone that has actually purchased it and need to know like a little bit more information and that doesn't find it in their FAQ. I've been playing with this for over a month now. I can give you even more information probably. So
cool. Robert Fralick, did everyone's Starlink bill go up to $120 a month for residential from $110 as mine did in Washington State starting this month?
Ours did. It was $110 for a long time, and it is gone. It is now $120. So I think a lot of people's are going to be going up to $120 from $110.
Yeah. Rubicon. I am traveling around a few national and state parks in Utah this week, and my residential plus portability is still working great. Does the new mobility plan reduce the advantage of R&P?
What was that again? With what? What was the R&P? Oh, with
Did
the
you leave?
residential priority? Say that one more time.
Did you leave?
I did leave. I was actually trying to find them on this one.
I am traveling around a few national and state parks in Utah this week, and my residential and portability is still working great. Does the new mobility plan reduce the advantage of R&P?
No. Not really. I mean, you could what they did with this whole residential portability and all the rest of this stuff. What they did is they just took away that portability, whatever that you can get. If you have that service for $25, just keep it. It's not going to make a difference because you're going to get the exact same thing out of it as if you got mobility or if you had the residential plus that grandfathered in. Which no one could get anymore. So if you have it, keep it. $25 is worth it because you end up cheaper in the long run.
All right. Eric McMahon. I like the increase in the new duty on the Starlink now. I can go out back and roast hot dogs and marshmallows over the dog. That's great.
So I posed that out there when I did the video talking about how the duty cycle on the grant or the allowance from the FCC to SpaceX Starlink for 17.5% duty cycle is literally double of what it was before. And I was saying that, if you have one of these things on the top of your camper, I hope it's not like frying you on the inside. And a lot smarter people than me said it's a single direction. So you would actually have to stand with your head over the dish like this for you to get the radiation because it's sending it in just this direction and not back down. So this is what they're telling me. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, it's kind of funny because when I saw that, I'm like, wow, they actually tested duty cycles on like 200 of these devices at 100% duty. So you definitely wouldn't want to be around those 200 units while they were at 100%, just crushing things. Let's see. Just joined as a lifetime member.
Daniel?
Having issues with the link for the what, Daniel? Oh, wait a second.
No, it's the same though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me know what you're having a problem with the link. Let me know if there is a problem with it. I can fix it. Don't worry about it. send me an email through the website. Go to jcristina.com/contact. And once you go into that contact form, it'll send me an email direct, so I can fix whatever we need to fix. So don't worry about it. Thank you so much for doing that. Really do appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
Scott, what's the average lifespan of a dish in space, and won't they have to keep replacing them when they die, and would it affect internet on Starlink?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're saying dish in space or you're talking about the actual satellites. The satellites have a expected lifespan of about 4 to 5 years, and then they deorbit and burn up. They're launching so many of these damn things, they don't even care. All right, to be completely honest. It's just, once they get Starship to actually fly and not blow up, they're going to be launching, it's going to be hundreds of Starlinks going to be launched at a time. Like every launch is going to be literally hundreds of these things. So don't worry about it. Once again, lifespan is about 5 years, then they deorbit and they burn out. As far as your dish, if you're asking about the dish, they warranty the dish and they do a really good job of it. If something happens with your dish, contact them. And I have not heard of anyone having to pay to get another dish once the dish goes bad, or if a cable goes bad, or if your dongle goes bad, or anything like that. They just send you all new kit. Right? So don't worry about that. They're making their money on a monthly fee, right? They don't care about this stuff. They're making you pay $599 for the kit. But look, if you're in Canada right now, you can get the exact same kit that I spent $600 on, you can get for $199. And if you're in Canada, go buy one. Go buy 10 and sell them to people here in the US. I don't know, make some extra cash. I don't know.
Okay, Phil's camping. He said, I'm on residential portability in Australia. I noticed all my data is shown as mobile data. I've not left home in the past few months.
Yeah, I think because you have that portability and you're grandfathered into it, probably what's going to happen is you're going to be charged for the residential and portability, so you're going to be charged a lower amount, but they're going to just simply call it mobility because portability doesn't exist anymore. Like, they don't sell it, or they don't sell it here in the US. Maybe in your country they still sell it, but I have a feeling they're not going to sell it for very much longer in every country because they're just going to get rid of it.
So how Phil also wants to know, how do you tell which pop you're using?
So the easiest way to find out what pop you're using is just simply do a speed test. So if I do a speed test right now, it's going to show that I'm using a server that's in Atlanta, Georgia, even though I'm in Florida, and instead of using the Miami pop. Now, if I was using the Miami pop, when I go to speedtest.com, it will immediately say, hey, you're using a Miami pop. Let's go ahead and do that speed test there. So that's the easiest. There's other ways to do it, but that's just the easiest way. Speedtest.com, do a speed test. Wherever the location that it's saying the server is that it's using, that's where your pop is located.
All right. Narg Paris, not critical. The true discussion should be about speeds related to devices. Getting 260 megabytes speeds is great. How much do you need per devices is much more relevant.
That's true. That's 100% true. It just depends on what you're doing. Like for me, when I go and upload these videos, and some of them are 2 gigs in size, I need as much damn speed as I can get. So, even if I'm combining or bonding Starlink and I'm combining the T-Mobile, I'm getting up to like 40 some megabits up speed because it's bonding together with Speedify. When I do that, I'm able to upload now literally 4 times faster than just simply with Starlink. So for me, I need as much speed as I can get. But like you say, and maybe you're surfing the web or something, you don't need that much, right? You don't need 200 megabits. It's not necessary. You could watch a 4K movie with 15 megabits. You don't need that much.
All right. Daniel Harvey, I'm a new lifetime member. I'm having an issue with the link for the perk free art or T. Is it because I was
free art or T?
Is it? I had.
Oh, let me see. Oh, with which one now?
Free art or
free
T?
Art or
Maybe
T.
the ebook or T.
Let me see. Let's go ahead.
Well,
and
you can't.
you can't see it on there.
You have to shrink that.
Yeah, let me see here.
There.
Oh, so did you go to darkmoontees.com? If you're looking for tea, go to jcristina.com and that's it. And then shop. So you can go to JCristina.com/shop. The same thing, if you're looking for any of my ebooks, just go to JCristina.com/books. That's the easiest way to do it. Any other questions, let me know if I missed that. Let's see. We have mobile places. Over here it says, how much PS can we take? That's a good question.
I don't know.
I feel like I can take
I
a lot.
feel like I can take a lot, but
Yeah.
it's my cup is starting to runneth over.
I know. We have Maine. Let's see. Path to Maine. It says seems early on during beta. They had great support, and then yes, it fell off. Yes, they did, and that's because they didn't have 1.5 million people, so they didn't have to support that many people. When I first started, there was about 120,000 people, I think, in total, or 100,000 people in total. Let's see. Arnie is talking to Peter. Phase change says Canada got the Starlink email today. None comes with a phone number or email we can address. That's interesting. That is interesting. So yeah, if you're in Canada and you want to get that deal, just go to starlink.com and you should be able to get that $199 for the kit. Let's see, Michael says it took me 2 years. God, that's a long time. It took us 8 months, but that still was a long time.
Is it jcristina.com/shop?
jcristina.com/shop. Let's see, Jess says I ordered mine, let's see, roughly a week ago, and it's almost here already. Wow.
That's really fast.
Congratulations. That is awesome. That is really awesome. Michael says, I believe it or not, Mediacom is now trying to go into the are they really business for the last mile. I got a flyer in the mail, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's just amazing. There needs to be a company that actually does the last mile of fiber, because these major companies like AT&T just simply won't do it. They bring it out to the CAN or the D-SLAM, and it's sitting in the D-SLAM, and it sits there for literally a decade. I have fiber sitting in my D-SLAM 6,000 feet away, I think it is, right around there. And it's been there for about 12 or 13 years, and we don't have it here. Other people have reported to me saying that they have fiber running inside of their lawn.
He's salty.
Running through their lawn to another community, but they don't give them the fiber. And it literally is in their lawn.
It's been years, and he's still salty.
Yes, I am. Let's see. Saint Stone says, when do you think that Starlink will cover more of the East Coast? I think that it's coming, and the reason being those 2.0s are going to be coming online, those minis, and they're launching 51, 52, 55 new satellites continuously. So it's going to be coming. Probably within the next month or two, you're going to see a lot less of the dark area and more of the light area.
The mid-coast of Maine.
What do they say here?
My neighbor is having trouble with his dish obstructions. Are we able to put his only dish, and hook it up to my system and see if I get signal to help do a process of elimination?
I would say no. The reason being is they have serial numbers on these dish, and they are associated with your router. I don't want to see you break yours to check his. Best bet is just simply contact Starlink, let them know. They will send your friend a whole new kit. Trust me, they will. And if for some reason you can't get through, I have a direct email address. It might actually be in I hope maybe in this video. Check in there. I have a direct email address specifically directly to the complaint department of Starlink. So use that if you absolutely have to. If not, just open a trouble ticket. Man Parish Stories. I have Starlink Mobile and RTV.
Man Parish Stories.
That's what I said, Man Parish.
I think you swallowed some of the letters.
I have Starlink speed, so I got T-Mobile for $50 flat rate, and my speeds are like 500 down. I paused Starlink for extreme. Yeah, so T-Mobile, if you can get 5G, T-Mobile is sick. It is such a good deal for the money. $50. I think it's $55 for the basic kit, and then you get $20 off that. So for $35, if you have a phone with them, is insanity. It's literally unlimited at extremely fast speeds. But bear in mind, as far as the actual system goes, you're probably going to have less outages with Starlink in comparison to T-Mobile, because as you move around, you're not going to get 5G everywhere. You're going to be dumping into LTE, 4G, and then maybe not even that. So bear that in mind. Whereas Starlink, you just prop it up on the ground, boom, it sees a satellite, and there you go. You have the same speeds as roaming, right? Or now called mobility or mobile. Next, what do we got?
I got lost on my list.
Okay, you do your thing. I will do mine. The path to main says, I used to have HughesNet. Oh, wait a second.
See?
Why did it do that?
I don't know. I did it to me. Now I have to go back.
Oh, no. It just jumped. Hold on. Hold on.
Wow, we're really savvy here.
No, this is just how it is.
I know.
Whenever you have like a lot of comments or a lot in the chat, it just bounces around just haphazardly. Where'd it go?
I don't know. Squirrel!
Squirrel. Where is it? Maybe play some background music.
I know.
Believe it or not. Okay, so it's right around here. Okay, I found it.
Did you find it?
All right, so here it is. It says, this is path to main. I used to have HughesNet that advertised 25 megabits, but was never even able to stream a movie without nonstop buffering. Now Starlink, even if it's showing 25 megabits, we can basically stream. Yes, that is exactly right. HughesNet as well as Viasat, these are all, instead of LEO-centric or in low Earth orbit satellites, they're sitting way out here in geocentric. So they are thousands of kilometers away instead of only hundreds. So yeah, it's just going to be a slower speed, less reliable. You're going to end up with more issues, let's say, when you're dealing with things like rain or also latency. Instead of having like a 25 to 30 millisecond ping, you're going to end up with like 100 millisecond ping. So it's just, anyone that has HughesNet or has Viasat, just cancel your service and just go with Starlink if you can. Honest to God. I mean, that's literally the bottom line. I think it's Viasat, I believe right now, is like launching satellites, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, trying to shuck and jive because they know the game is over, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
John Ross, does Speedify support corporate point-to-point VPNs?
It does have a VPN, but I don't believe it is point-to-point. I would have to check on that, to be completely honest with you. I am not sure. I know a lot of corporate businesses are using things like PepLink, for example, for their VPNs because they can, let's say, they can authorize them in comparison to using a piece of software, but I'm not 100% certain. So I would look in their FAQ, and that's something that I will ask too if I hear from the folks over there.
Are we happy with Speedify?
Yes, so right now, I mean, that's what we're using for streaming.
You just started using it not that long ago.
Yeah, so I've been using it for about a month and a half or whatever. Yeah. And all of our streams, matter of fact, I'll pop it up. It's up there right now. You can see it's redundantly streaming right now through T-Mobile as well as Starlink. And it is saying redundant, meaning that it's doing mirrored packets down both, so we don't have any outages at all.
I'm saying, are you happy with it? Because I'm completely clueless when it comes to this. So this is your
I'm very happy with it. I am, because just for the sole reason that if I need to be 100% online and not have to worry about those little micro outages, I don't get any anymore. So that's a major plus. Plus.
Cool.
Let's see. Kyle, what does he say? Most in the area of South Carolina is waiting. Yes, he's in zip code 29812. Yes, South Carolina is still in the wait list, but hang in there. Yeah. It's coming. It says 2023, so it is happening soon. What about Dish Network and T-Mobile fighting for the 600 gigahertz T-Mobile going to buy? Yeah, so
that's from Gary.
They're all fighting, Gary. They're all fighting for spectrum right now. You have Dish and you have DirecTV fighting with SpaceX Starlink for 12 gigahertz. You have the other ones, you have the other 600 gigahertz fighting. There's spectrum is everything today. Everything is moving to data. Even the phone companies know their days are numbered. They are data companies now. The whole idea of charging you, that's why they don't do it anymore. Charging you for text messaging, charging you for phone calls, charging you for all of this stuff is completely erroneous. Everything is VoIP or voice over IP. So to even charge you for international calling is just a ruse anyways. I mean, it's a farce. It's complete nonsense because you can make calls through the internet, through VoIP, for free no matter what. And as long as you have data, that's it. So that's why I think a lot of these mobile companies are looking at Starlink and saying, shit, if this guy actually gets to a point where there's so many Starlink satellites that we can actually have a phone that is sensitive enough to connect to those satellites, especially when we're outside, it's game over.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
It's literally game over at that point, right? You pay $150 mobility and you'll have it on your phone as well as your dish. You might not have as much speed on your phone because it doesn't have that pulling power and the sending power. You don't want to nuke your head, but still you'll be able to
I think we're already nuking our heads.
Yeah,
we
probably
just
are,
don't even
right?
know it.
All right.
Peter.
Let's see. Peter says, I have fiber, 1 gig by 1 gig. I hate you, and it costs $42 a month. Rub it in, Peter. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here just to rub it in. That is great, though. That is good. Congratulations. That is fantastic. Robert says, hey, Joe. I just sent my Dishy I just set up my Dishy today here in Central Virginia, and we're getting anywhere from 30 megabits to 120 megabits. It seems that the best effort plan is higher in the ping times and higher in the yes. So best effort is going to be slower by 50%. That's my calculations. They don't say that anywhere, but that's just about what I'm seeing when I talk to all of you people that have it. So it's about 50% slower, but once you are off best effort, you're going to be getting that higher 100 plus megabits all the time, quote unquote. What else we got here? Peter, thank you so much.
Yes.
Everyone throw that Q in there. If I click this, then I'm going to lose, but that's okay. Let's see. Richard, thank you so much.
Wow, Richard, thank you.
For this super chat. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Is that MX? Is that Mexican? Is that peso? That's interesting. Where are you located, Richard? Thank you once again. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Warmly welcomed super chats. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Going back up.
Right here.
And I probably lost everything.
I'm still learning on Bjorn.
Yeah, Bjorn.
The first 2 letters in my name, Bjorn, is like the 2 first in Bjorn, Borg. The rest is like Arn, Bjorn.
There it is.
Wow, this is like a whole. I'm here for that though. Yeah, I love it.
It's like school. I like it.
Love it. Peter, I know we should get wireless mics on clip-ons.
You know what? We're gonna do it. All right. I have.
Do you not like our mics, Peter? Come on.
Yeah. So.
They're bougie.
This is like that, that podcasty kind of BS that you see.
It's a vibe.
It's like a little vibe going on. Now it does sound. I think they sound better. I have a few lapels. I have some wireless lapels I've tested. You can look at some of my videos on them. I got one from Comica, I think it is. One from Small Rig. I don't know. I got a bunch of them. But yeah, you know what? Next time we'll give it a shot. And then when the audio goes south, I'll blame you. That works.
John, well, are you going to be making a new Starlink movie? Movie, sorry. Oh. I said Starlink. Stark.
New Starlink movie.
Yeah, Stark movie. I mean,
you should do that.
Yeah.
You know what I need to do next time? Okay, on next Friday, I'm going to have a push-up camera. And on Fridays,
someone said something about your push-ups, but I think I passed it. I'm
like right back here. I'm gonna put a camera back here, and I'm gonna bang out push-ups on Friday.
I'm gonna take the phone and strap it to his forehead right here, so you can see him do his push-ups.
What an idiot! She would do that too.
I totally would do that.
All right.
Yeah, look, John Ross, do some push-ups in the morning.
Yes. Yeah. We're banging those out. We're definitely hitting those push-ups. And then my son takes me to the gym. I'm like hurting. Yes. I'm sore. Everything is like.
I go too. I was sore.
That's true.
But we have to keep up.
Yeah.
We have to maintain.
We don't want to get old.
Yeah.
Right? When the hell's old?
I don't believe in that word.
Definitely not. Let's see,
Michael, on VoIP calls, remoting into servers and desktops all day at my job.
No, there you go.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's it. That was me, old days. I was the
Yeah.
system administrator. I know all about it. Working in the colos, working in the NOC network operations centers, in the wonderful, I guess it would be like 49 degrees, 53 degrees sometimes in those rooms, in the
Oof.
server rooms.
I remember
crazy.
that. You'd come with like a big jacket.
Sometimes it would be like 4 a.m. coming home because there was some problem. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? The path to main says, if you're moving from HughesNet to Starlink, you will not be disappointed. It may not be as good as fiber, but still as awesome. Absolutely. If you move from HughesNet or Viasat, either one of those geocentric type of non-terrestrial services, satellite services, you can go to Verizon home internet, or you can go to T-Mobile home internet, or you can go to Starlink, and you will be freaking ecstatic. Okay, ecstatic. Trust me. Dump those people. Get rid of those, and that's the problem. Right now, they're trying to get people in, and they are bribing people with like lower pricing and stuff, and doing it to get you locked in for a year, 2 years, 3 years, because they know they're losing people continuously, daily. Let's see.
Kyle, any news on the price difference in everyone's service for standard residential?
Where are you? Did we get to this? Atomic MT Biker?
Oh, no, I missed that
Okay,
one.
you can't miss him. What he says is, I am in eastern Tennessee, in the country, close to a small town which offers high-speed internet. The charge is $150 per month for 100 down and 10 up, $200 for 200 down and 20 up. I paid $110 for Starlink. Yeah, so I mean, if you can get terrestrial service, copper, fat cable, let's say, and not even fiber, and you're getting, $150 for the 100 down, 10 up, it's literally comparable to what you will get with $110 from Starlink. You know what I mean? So I would probably go with Starlink. The only thing is even though it's $40 cheaper for Starlink, as of right now, you don't have that millisecond speed. Let's say your latency is going to be higher with satellite in comparison to a Earth-based or a terrestrial type of service. So if you're gaming or something like that, I would say pay the $150 and go with a terrestrial service, a copper, or go with DSL or whatever is fast in your area, fiber or something like that, or your cable. But if not, Starlink is the way to go, and it is getting better. It is getting better. And I would predict, once you see these version 2.0 massive ones, the big ass units up there, we're going to see latencies come down by about 10 milliseconds, maybe even less, maybe 20 milliseconds. So where people are getting 45 milliseconds, they're going to see probably 20 and 25 millisecond latency. And that is going to be a major game changer. But I'm speculating right now. I'll report on that probably next year when it happens, or in 6 months or something. Let's see. John says, does Speedify handle corporate VPNs? We went to that one already. The biker, mine is still $110 from Atomic Biker. $110. Yeah, ours went to $120, sadly, but it is what it is.
We do have some buffering going on at certain points. I can see it.
Yeah, now, okay, so I'm looking over here, and I'm not getting buffering on this side.
Right,
so.
it's like delayed on this,
it's
but
going
not
to,
in here.
yeah, we're going to have definitely, there will be a delay. Now, a lot of times the delay has to do with YouTube, too, sending the information.
Yeah.
You're not going to get live stream. It's just not going to happen. Pathman says, watched your videos on Mesh Network, but what is your opinion on no holds barred best mesh for Starlink? Well, it really depends on how much you want to spend for a mesh network. The mesh network that I put together was an affordable network that was using TP-Link. So I was using TP-Link internals, which would be indoors, as well as TP-Link outdoors, and those units were doing fantastic. They're still there a year later and with no problem at all. You can get ubiquities, you can get, all sorts of units that are more expensive, but do you need it? Probably not. Gooseworks says, dope shirt. Stark Industry. Not yours, mine. Look,
Mine.
Stark Industries.
Mine.
I know you have Def Leppard.
Mine's
Okay.
OG.
That
okay.
is an OG. And he says I got one that says Led Zeppelin and Def Leppard.
Oh,
wow.
I love it.
There you go. Those are some old shirts. Donald says I ordered my dish last week. It took a 2,000-mile trip around the country, and I got it yesterday. Wow, that's awesome! Congratulations on that. Being able to get Starlink today is a big, major thing. Let's see. Peter says now buffering 2 times. Interesting. So it is getting some buffering here and there. Well, let us know. We're not seeing it on this side.
I'm seeing on my.
Are you?
Over
All right.
here,
So we'll
yeah.
see what ends up happening. We're gonna keep logs on everything too to make sure or what is going on. We are redundantly. Let me see. Yes, we are redundantly streaming through both networks, and I don't see any outages. So why that would happen, I don't know. I don't think it's coming from us. Yeah, the graph is showing no outage at all. Matter of fact, let me bring that up for a second.
Did you read this already?
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at right now. Did you did you think 2 times Starlink dish and Speedify is fine?
No, I haven't got down to that yet. So I'm back up here. Here I'm with Alex. Let's see, Alex. Alex says, interesting. I just ordered Starlink last week and it arrived today. San Diego, as advertised, $110 a month. But after downloading the app, it says $120. I think they're going up from $110 to $120. That's what's going on. Memorable places, 8 minutes after the hour buffering. So write it down. 8 minutes after the hour, it had a buffer. That was when that was buffering. But I'm going to leave. You know what? I'm going to switch over to here. You guys can watch the stream. We didn't have any outage, so I'm not sure where the buffer is coming from. So far, we are online for 1 hour 30 minutes. And it says currently it has saved, excessive latency 17 times, and it has saved the connection by failover 14 times so far.
On that note, Alex would like to know, it would be great to see a video of Speedify in detail, how you physically connect the different wands to what, etc.
Yeah.
And the router hack you mentioned.
Okay, yeah, we will do that. The router hack is going to be a job to do. I'm thinking about doing maybe a Raspberry Pi or something like that. I think it would just be a cool project. We'll see. But yeah, I'll do a video on how I set mine up, and then you can just see how I do it, and then you can do something similar, and I'll give you my findings on what works the best for certain situations too. So yeah, thank you for that, and yeah, I will do that.
Phase change would be amazing if we could change the satellite switching times.
Yeah, it would, but we can't.
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Ian, did I understand right? Elon Musk made a deal with Google and put these POPs near their data centers?
I don't know, but if you heard that, I wouldn't doubt it. Because the idea is these POPs, or these point of presence, are basically like NOCs, or network operation centers, and you're going to want them as close as possible to your backbones. And the backbones in this country, I mean, the majority of them is just, it is what it is. You know, you have AWS, you have Amazon stuff, you have your Google. There's only so many big backbones that you can go, and you have to decide which one you want to go with. You know, the lesser of all evils, and maybe if you're right, they went with Google. I'm not sure.
Ranch Dad. Arnie. Yeah, Arnie said, is there a way to find out if and when they are going to build more POPs?
There's no way of finding out. They just won't tell. They just won't say anything. All of a sudden, you'll just see a pop up. Pardon the pun.
Yeah. Ranch Dad. Ookla speed test picks the server based on who responds first, even though my POP is LA. Speed test uses servers in LA, San Fran, and Sacramento.
Correct. That's correct. It will do that. The same thing is like my POPs will come out of Atlanta, Georgia, but they'll literally, the POP is Atlanta, Georgia, but it will pick, out of like 10 different servers in Atlanta, Georgia. But at no time would I see, if I do a speed test on Ookla, I will never see Virginia as a POP or Miami as a POP or anything, because my POP is actually in Atlanta.
Atomic wants to know, is there anything, he wants to try the teas, is there anything in the teas that would impact drug tests?
No, absolutely not. Everything's organic, and there's nothing in there that would be negatory to any type of drug test, for sure.
Cool, Michael. Mediacom is wanting to do last mile with wireless dishes.
Yeah, that's great. They need to do that. Elon Musk got in bed with T-Mobile, and now they're doing backhauling together. So seeing someone like a Mediacom doing doing that last mile for fiber, this is what needs to happen, because the major companies are not doing it. They're getting paid by the government continuously. They're being subsidized by the government continuously to do fiber, and they're dropping fiber, only general fiber to certain nodes and certain areas, but they are not doing last mile fiber. And it's a major problem. They're getting millions and hundreds of millions of dollars from the government, and they're not doing their job. I think it's a travesty. I think that they should be brought up on charges. I think the money should be taken back, or required to be taken back. They gave Elon Musk shit for having service that was falling below their threshold of being quote unquote broadband, because 25 megabits is the minimum that you can actually send data and call it broadband, and it was dropping below that with best effort, and there was a lot of problems back when that it went from like literally 140,000 people to 1 million people. It was just got nuts. So they were giving them hell for it, but they don't give hell to these AT&Ts and all the rest of them that are getting billions of dollars for building out fiber, and they just don't do it. All right, they just don't do it. It's sad. It's sad. Anyways.
Tom tried to send you a water pump info, but your contact page is blank. Just links at the bottom work for me. Should I put on here?
Let me go into it. So JCristina.com. Let's see. Maybe there's a problem. Let's go and take a look. So let me go switch over to my screen. Can we see it? Yes, we can see it. So now we're on JCristina.com.
Yeah.
If I come over here to where it says contact, let's see what happens here. Maybe there's a problem with it. Yep, I see that there's a problem. So right here is where it should say contact and allow you to enter stuff in. So there is something I will get with them and have that fixed probably by tomorrow. But in the interim, you can send over matter of fact, you can type that in there here.
What is it?
You can send a message over to me, jcristinaphoto@gmail.com. That's the same email address I use for PayPal. So if anyone wants to send a donation at any time, they can send it to jcristinaphoto@gmail.com. And Fab will put it in there for you so that you have that information. Sorry about that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Yes.
And like I said, we will have that fixed by tomorrow.
Okay. Face change. Do you think 2 times Starlink dish plus Speedify is fine?
Let's see. Where do we see this? I missed it.
It is right
down here.
Right here.
All right. Do you think the 2x Starlink dish plus Speedify is fine? 2x Starlink. So are you saying that you have 2 Starlinks? If you do, absolutely. Speedify will actually combine both Starlink connections together, bond them together, and give you generally double the speed. There is some, you have some overhead whenever you're dealing with software, but you will get just about double the speed. So yeah, check that out. You can definitely bond 2 Starlinks together with it. Thumbs up, people. David says, thank you for that. Thumbs up. That would be wonderful. I would appreciate it. What do you think about that mug, guys? That is, let me see. Is it going to focus in on it? Of course it's not, because it's finding your eyes. Anyways, there you go. Do you see what it is? It's tea time. Tea time.
Mine's tea time too. I couldn't help it. I already had my grape juice earlier.
She had grape juice.
And then I had to have a coffee because I got sleepy. Had a long week.
Yes.
It was a long week.
Thank you so much for that. Thumbs ups were always appreciated. Any of the super chats are always appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's see. Inductive Soul says, welcome for a lifetime sub. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. It is really, really helpful. Thank you. Let's see. What do we have here? We have John. He says, "Holy crap, Richard Yanks, great push up donation. Thank you." Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm
It's
going
in
to
pesos.
hold me to it. Tomorrow,
I'm strapping the phone to your forehead.
No,
yes.
yeah. So for next Friday, we're going to be doing push-ups. All right. So we'll do maybe like sets of 50 or 75, wherever. I'm going to bang out a whole bunch for like a couple of days worth on Friday.
Well, you've been doing what, 50 in the morning and 50 at night?
Yeah, we do about 50 in the morning, 50 at night. But then, I do
Yeah.
a lot more than that, and then going into the gym and stuff. But I'm keeping up with that because, like I said, we're on that 3,000 push-up challenge, hopefully to make $3,000 for the children with cancer.
St. Jude's.
St. Jude's Research Children's Hospital.
And thank you to everybody who's been donating. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and we'll have to look that up later, see how much is donation. I know it's almost 1,000. I think it's over 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Let's see. John Henry says, TBH. I haven't had any micro signal loss with the HP in a while now, and you're talking about it, and I'm at the top of, I guess, AK Alaska. So, yeah, I guess everyone has different experiences on where, how service is. Are you going to get full service or full signal or not? Like, for example, at my T-Mobile, my T-Mobile there's a tower about 3 miles away, but I have to go through like 8 inches of concrete just to get outside. Whereas if I was to put that gateway outside, I have like a lot stronger signal, and I'm getting like probably about 50 megabits faster speed too. So, signal is everything, and it just depends if you can access it or not. Let's see, in Panama, I think that my service is using the Columbia Sat, 229 down by 19 up. That is awesome. David says the planet is 2/3 covered in water. Starlink will never make financial sense, maybe in 75 years when material science makes super light spacecraft available. Yeah, so David, even though the planet is covered by 2/3 water, that is the case. But remember, Starlink satellites, even though they are being used by people on land, they're also being used by now ships that are on the ocean, as well as planes traveling over the ocean. So they're being used even when they are over water and not over land, which is very interesting. And those accounts actually account for a lot more than what the residential traffic accounts for. Also the government gigs that they have and all the rest of this stuff. So I think Starlink is going to make sense in the long term. And I believe so to such a degree. When it does IPO, I will end up probably buying some, because I think that it does make that much sense. And I do believe, and I can see it eventually becoming almost its own internet, but non-terrestrial, when these large version 2.0 satellites go live, and some of them are big enough to be considered NOCs, or network operations centers, and now your data or your signals can stay in outer space and only come down when need be. In other words, when they come back to you, and they don't have to go through ground stations and pops on the ground. It's going to speed everything up. It's going to be, once again, a non-terrestrial internet. That's my personal opinion of where this is going, but I'm kind of a futurist, This is what I'm seeing. I could be wrong.
You're a futurist.
Anyways.
He's a futurist.
Yeah, so let's see. Cowboy says, howdy! How you doing? How are you doing? I gotta find my chickens. Let me find my chickens.
You don't have, I have the chickens. You don't even have the chickens.
I got chickens.
I cleaned the chickens.
She did clean the chickens.
And I'm not even gonna go there, but yes.
Where are these? Hold on, guys. I went out there. When did I go out there? I think it was yesterday, day before. Let me see.
Wait.
Folks. Oh, I sneak up. Hold on. Wait a second. Did you guys hear that?
Can't you put it up?
Hold on. Let me switch this over.
Let me God, see. It's a chicken video.
Let me swap it around. So I snuck around the corner, and there is Donald. He just cock-a-doodle-dooed just a second ago. So there you go. That's Donald. So yeah. But anyways, howdy. Appreciate you being
all that
here.
For that.
All that.
We're such exciting people. Wow.
I was hearing him. He was going absolutely ape crap out there. I think it was this morning or yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sneak up on him. I went around the garage. I'm like, oh, there he is. And I caught him. He didn't see me because I just stuck the phone around. But if he sees me, he won't do his whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but I caught him.
Yeah. Well,
let me see. Memorable places says 250 Mexican pesos equals 14.21 US. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very
really
much.
Appreciate it. 55 milliseconds almost constantly. That's not too bad. I would like to see in the 30s. Let's see. DG. Let's see. Says 55. Oh, it says 55. Yeah. Milliseconds. John says was okay. Let me see. Let me keep on going down here. Phase. Let's see. Phase says get a good boom mic and stick it in the middle. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Usually the I mean you can get an omni, I suppose, an omnidirectional boom mic. That would work for the both of us, but being this far away, they're usually very directional. But we'll see.
Well, Peter said yeah, it sounds great, but if the Wi-Fi, it's me because I can't stay still.
Oh, so are you getting fading out?
Probably because I'm moving around a lot.
I speak louder anyways in general, so that's probably it. But yeah, we'll try out some other sound and see what sounds better. We'll try different sound.
I'll just speak up louder.
Just speak louder. The mic's there in front
of you. John Wolf, was y'all hips when y'all was younger?
I don't know.
Were you hip?
I guess. I don't know.
We're always hip. Come on, John.
Hip. Still damn hip. We're not old.
Nope. To the no.
Maybe. Let me see. Fubars says anyone using the Chicago Pop getting hoarded speeds. Also, my average download speed is 15 down and 9 up. Holy shit. So that's a problem, Fubars. So I would contact SpaceX on that. That is, if you're getting 15 down, you have a problem. You either have a problem with one of your cables is bad. You have a problem with the dish, the modem in the dish. I would reboot. I would do a factory reboot on it. So you have to reinstall, like have it reboot.
You need to change that.
Oh, I would reboot it so that you will now be able to know if it's actually something wrong with the dish. If not, you're just not going to know. So reboot it, but not just reboot it, factory reboot it. So what that means is you have to unplug it and plug it back in 6 times consecutively, and then it will factory refresh itself. If it's still getting 15 down, once again, contact SpaceX because that is a problem.
Richard Jank said, hi, I just started using Starlink because of you. Thanks. We are in La Paz, Mexico, and just got our system in 3 weeks, 4 weeks for the Ethernet adapter, speed over 250 to 300 up and 50 to 80 upload. Thanks.
Oh, man. That is amazing. That is really, really good. Congratulations on that. That is sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. See this over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's because it's
from
a long time ago.
I know.
That's fine. You're not going to see it.
No,
You're
I know.
not going to see current.
Where did we leave off?
Let me see. Vincent says I paid $100 a month for 2 megabits, and I would gladly pay $150 if it was that. But I do understand. I hate towards it. Yeah.
Back.
Let's see. Oh, it jumped.
See, because it just came back.
No, on this.
I know.
It jumped. Let's see. Let's go back up to here. We're going to get to everyone's questions. There is a lot in here today, so bear with me. Definitely put a Q before the question so we can kind of hone in on it a little bit better.
Did you read Vince Martinez? I was going to ask if I should switch to a mesh system. My house is 1,100 square feet. The TP-Link router I have now handles it pretty awesomely, but would it be better if I used a mesh?
Yes. Just use a mesh. They're cheap enough now. If you use a mesh, you're going to have full speed everywhere you go, including outside if you want to put an outside mesh like I did. So yeah, use a mesh.
Jay said, need shirt with Squirrel Industries. That's great.
Squirrel Industries.
I like
Write
that.
it down.
I like
Squirrel
that.
Industries. So maybe we have a squirrel that is on a rocket with, I don't know. Give me some thoughts. Give me some thoughts in the chat. What do you think about Squirrel Industries? What should it look like? By next Friday, we'll have a shirt.
I know we've been saying it for a while.
We're gonna do it. Squirrel Industries. I love it. We're gonna make it.
Phil's camping. I'm paying roaming price 174 Australian for my residential and portability plan. Fubar. Chicago Pop is struggling hardcore, getting an average now of 12 down and 14 up.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That is horrible. Billy says, I use cable, 1.5 megabits through Verizon LTE gets 8 to 20 megabits. I've been waiting since January. Just hang in there. I feel you, Billy. Trust me, I feel you. It's horrible when you have just slow speeds. I get it. Danny says, I see China is doing their own low Earth orbit. Yes, China is going to be launching, I think, 13,000 satellites. I think they have slated, or some crazy ass amount like that. They need to compete with Elon. And it's going to be very hard for them because they're going to need to create a system like Elon has to be able to launch rockets like every other damn day. And until they're able to do that, it's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be a bit. Same thing with Amazon and their nonsense, and the same thing with the OneWeb and all the rest of the stuff. That's just the way it is. It's just, you can't compete when someone has a vehicle that can take satellites into orbit, come back down, land on the back of a drone ship, get ferried back, get refueled, and literally launched again the next day if they need be. That's just unbelievable, you know. Let's see. Scott says, I'm staying with the my provider at 900 down and 100 up at $53. You should, Scott. That is awesome. Michael says, I heard that Google will be hosting the POPs. Let me find the link. Interesting. Let us know, Michael. Let us know. It says, Tech Google wins cloud deal with Elon, SpaceX, and Starlink internet connectivity. Michael, send that over. That's Michael Rigglesman. Send that link over. I'd love to read about that. John says, in Alabama, ordered Starlink last August and still are waiting. Yes, there's a lot of people still waiting. It sucks, I know. But it's opening up. Let's see. Billy says the state it will be in an area in 2023. My neighbor has 100 feet away has Starlink and loves it. I'm located in North Carolina. Yeah, that happens a lot of times. Next door neighbor has it and you can't get it. It's horrible.
Steven says, report Skynet has gone to 120 and now my speeds are 3.1 down through 120 down. Something has changed as the service is unrecognizable. My least favorite word is pissed, but that would describe me, Steve.
All right, Steve. So once again, if you're getting, just like I told the other person, if you're getting 3 megs down, it's broken. That's just, there's nothing else to be said there. Something's broken. The dish is broken. The modem in the dish is broken. The router's broken. There's a cable broken, and you got a dongle that's broken. You have Wi-Fi that's going out. There's something broken. Contact Starlink. They're going to send you a brand new system. You could tell me that they did it next Friday and then thank me. Just do it. Make sure you do it. Don't sit on it, okay? There's no reason to get 3 megabits. Something is broken. Bichon?
Yes, off topic. We talk about T-shirts, making movies, and the time for tea. Yeah. Now, what's your necklace? My necklace
is the Futhark. They are, they're runes from, way back in the past. It's basically Viking. It's Nordic runes. It's a Nordic alphabet, let's call it. That's what it is. And yours, of course, is?
My arrowhead.
Yes, arrowhead. She has a lot of arrowheads.
Yes, I have a little bit of Puerto Rican native in me. So.
Yep, that's exactly right. So let's see. David says, waiting, who's getting subsidized? That's a good question. I wish we were being subsidized. Let's see. The money should be given back to Starlink. Yes, I think that more money should be sent to Elon because he's actually doing something when it comes to the internet. That's just it. These other telcos are doing absolute crap and they're getting millions and millions. It's horrible.
We didn't read the rest of that.
Read.
He said, Mr. C, a time travel portal, and Mrs. C, a shark tooth. Found out I can zoom in on you.
Yes, that's exactly right. You can just portal through and
land on a shark tooth.
and exactly get chewed up by a shark tooth. Let's see, Peter. Okay, Claudio, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks,
really
Claudio.
Do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for being here tonight, and everybody else too. Thanks for being here with us.
Hanging out on a Friday night, TGIF.
Friday Night Lives.
That's right. Love it. Greetings from Chile.
Hello.
Thank you, Claudia. Let's see. Inductive Soul says, where? I live in Utah. The big telcos pass laws to halt and impede the expansion of public FTTH, which would be your fiber, your last mile, let's call it, providers owned by the state. Yeah, so this is exactly what happens. Instead of actually helping people, right, they hinder people to help themselves. This is typical corporate greed in its finest, and yes, we see it all the time. It's horrible. John,
You missed. Did you get Ian's question?
let's see. Ian says, "Is AM radio going away in my area? The reception of 21 years after a go long. Okay, blah 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 watts 5 more. Yeah, so." Yeah, I've heard about AM radio actually being taken out of cars, and when I heard that, I was thinking to myself, is that true or not? Because
that's not good.
That is not good, because I mean, a lot of people still listen to AM radio.
I actually do in the morning,
just for
on
news,
the way to work.
right? Just for news, or for weather, if there's a problem with weather,
Yeah.
or for emergencies, stuff like that. AM radio you can get through thick walls. I mean, obviously it's AM in comparison to FM. So to take that out of cars and to like do away with it, I don't think that's a good thing. All right, I really don't. It's almost like
There's
getting rid of
a lot
ham.
of things that are not good things.
There's a lot of There's a lot. We were watching some stuff on the news tonight that was not a good thing, and maybe you guys have been watching it too.
Yeah.
Kind of horrible, to be completely honest with you. Let's see. How many WAN can you do with Speedify? So I've heard people doing up to like 10 different WAN setups going to Speedify and it bonding all 10 together. But I asked the folks over there at Speedify, and I think that it is like a lot more than that. You can probably do like 30 WAN, but who has 30 connections? So, I mean, normally you would have 3 or 4, maybe 5 connections, depends on what you're doing. So, but yeah, it will be able to handle all of them and bond them all together, which is amazing to me. I don't know how the hell they do this stuff. David says should have been included in the federal funding. He actually was. Running fiber out to the middle of nowhere, one person is a waste of money. Yes, absolutely. I think a lot more money should go to Elon because, like I said, he's actually doing something. Vince Martinez, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate that. Super chats are warmly welcome. Like I always say, thank you, thank you, thank you. John says, strap phone to his head. And then he's talking about me, probably doing push-ups. Strap the phone to my head on Friday, JR challenge. 5 push-ups, $15 each on super chat with your wife sitting on your shoulders. All right. So that's what we'll do. Next week, I will do push-ups with my wife sitting on my shoulders.
This is a big girl.
$15
I'm here for it.
For $15, that's not bad. We'll do it.
Let's do it.
We're going to do it
That's
anyways.
a challenge.
That's going to be a challenge. And then after that, we're going to bang out 50 or so we can definitely put out that time for the children with cancer. That's really good. Once again, thank you guys. I mean, we're over $1,000 now for St. Jude's.
I know, it's great. And the month's really not over. We still have time.
Yeah, we still have time to be able to hit that 3K mark.
Yeah.
Just noticed, was not on Live Cycle. Not sure if you've seen the stuff about Google hosting Starlink. I have not. Tell us more about that, Michael. Arnie says several new Starlink ground stations are approved by the FCC and are under construction. I am hopeful my speeds will increase. Arnie, let us know where those POPs are being located, or those ground stations are being located. I would love to know. Let's see. Inductive Soul says it'll be excited to see what the service does when the SAT to SAT communication lasers are working. Yes, so they are working already. All of the so 50% of the satellites that are up there right now are version 1.5s. They all have the ILS, or whatever it is, inter-satellite lasers or whatever, and they all have it, and they are communicating together already. But the version 2.0s are not only going to be able to communicate together, but they're also going to be able to send signal to the ground like phone signal basically to the ground also, as well as doing backhauling and all kinds of other crazy stuff. They're just I think they're like 3 times the weight and 3 times the size and 4 times the capacity, the version 2.0s compared to the 1.5s. That's a lot. That is a lot. Let's see. Kane says, Starlink, I hope is an option in the future for the UK. It is. As a matter of fact, in the UK, it says, but I think that it is very limited at the present cost. So in the UK, Kane, you should be able to get Starlink for free. So look into that. I shouldn't say free. For $15 a month, they will actually rent you the equipment. They don't do that in the US, but I think the UK they do. So look into that. Aston says, what does he say? Haha, got the chickens and the tech. Yes, we do have chickens.
Chickens and tech. That's chickens another really good shirt.
Chickens and tech? Yeah. Or how about a chicken that is made out of, that's a robot?
Why? No.
Okay.
God, not everything has to be a robot. We will never have one of those things walking around my house. No.
She's thinking like Will Smith and
yeah,
stuff.
No.
You know, just stop.
Look, do we have to go and start talking about AI?
Yeah, AI is a
problem.
No, it is. Kane says he's getting 1 gig speed for £42. God, Kane, I hate you. That's awesome. Really, that's awesome.
You're always
Ian,
so salty.
I am, but still, that's really good, man. £42 for a gigabit, bidirectional probably. Ian says maybe Starlink sats will be 2.5 or 3 version before full size 2 goes up. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're going to be just constantly putting up, Ian, those version 1.5s at 50s at a time, 51, 55 at a time, and you're going to start seeing they roll out those version 2.0 minis of 21 in that fairing, in that cone section at a time. So we'll see more of those version 2.0 minis coming soon. Let's see. Flip the screen to the normal mode. That was from before. Yeah, I know. We screwed
Claudio
up.
said talking photo, talking video, talking tech, but today is a chicken day. We're trying to keep it real here.
I think
a little
that's
interesting, breaking it up.
Yeah, so maybe I do that.
A little fun.
I'll do it, and then all of a sudden I'll just do like this, and boom, I'm sitting where the chickens are. We'll just sit out there and just talk to the chicken. We have a turkey named Polly, too. It's about 35 pounds. It's the biggest damn turkey I've ever seen, but she's so sweet.
Yeah.
She is sweet. She's massive, though. Massive.
No, we're not going to eat her.
We're not going to eat her.
But her eggs are great.
Her eggs are about the size of this cup, guys. The regular egg is this big. Her eggs are this big. And the yolk are like this big. And they're like deep orange. The omega-3 in this stuff must be nuts. I talked to you guys about this in the last video, but if you ever get an actual real egg that is coming out of a chicken, still warm, like literally from like a friend's coop or yours, crack that egg. My son did. Crack that in a clear bowl, right? And then crack an egg from the store. Even if they say organic or whatever that shit that they say, crack that into an egg and you look at the two. You'll notice that the egg from the store, the yellow is like yellowish, greenish color, whereas the egg from your farm or from a local farm, when you crack that egg, that yolk is deep reddish orange. Big difference. One tastes really good, the other one tastes like water. Okay? Just telling you. Let's see, what else we got here? Claudio says, taking photos. Oh yeah, that was from before. What's the camera angle? Yes, we're working on that. We did before. Operating here, push high speeds, cheap due to fiber rollout. I wish fiber would hit everywhere, but it doesn't. Let's see. Mygo says let's see. Deco mesh keeps disconnecting every time there is a disconnect for 0.0. Yeah, so this happens a lot, and this is one of the problems with Starlink and all non-terrestrial based services. They do have little slight outages. Now, the Deco mesh should not disconnect from a small 0.1 second outage. That's something that I would contact them about, because that should not be. There might be a setting that allows it to hang in there for X number of milliseconds or X number of seconds before dumping itself, let's say, or going out. But, check into that. That shouldn't be. John says, Peter, based on where they are with the chat, by the time we see the post about the camera position, will be 10:30.
I know.
Yeah, that's actually true, because we're going through it as fast as we can, but they're coming through pretty quick. Let's see. We got 87 there, so let's keep on going as fast as we can to try to get down there. Let's see.
Yeah.
Inductive Stole says, once you get past about 500 feet, fiber optic cables are cheaper than copper. That is absolutely the case, but they still don't run it. Why? I don't know. John has a question. Do you think that cell boosts help with T-Mobile? Kind of, sort of, but a directional antenna outside is the way to go. And then you have to crack open the device and then attach it. There's a lot that you need to do, but I'm thinking about doing it. And if I do, you will see a video on this channel. Flying Pretzel, thank you so much for the super chat, as always. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Let's see. Peter says Denmark. We are paying for 1 gig by 1 gig for $42 US. That is just awesome. That is fantastic. Let's see what else we got. Thank you. God bless. I keep Viasat. Don't keep Viasat. Get rid of the damn Viasat. Oh my God. That's just horrible, horrible. $1 billion with laser Austin power. Yes, exactly. 1 billion.
Wow, it says to buy a Starlink. Scott said to buy a Starlink dish here in New Zealand, it's a rip-off at $750.
That is a lot.
That's a
lot.
lot.
That is a lot. It shouldn't be that much. And then we see Canada right now, you can get a system for $199. So you know what? Become friends with someone in Canada, have them buy a dish for you for $199, then spend like a couple $100 to get it, to your country. And now you just saved half price. Maybe get a few of them.
Sweet.
Sell them over there. Why not?
Wow. Just releasing.
Elon doesn't watch anyways. He doesn't even care.
This is true. William, this is interesting. He said, I heard you can't use AM in an electric vehicle because of EV battery interference.
Really? I never knew that. That is absolutely news to me. Amazing. Huh? John Henry, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you,
John.
Appreciate that, John. He says the internet provider here in my small town, and they have been going around the village and looking at the Starlink dishes, and and they're probably getting scared and taking pictures of them. I wonder why they would be doing that. Makes me wonder what the deal is. So yeah, these local telcos, they see Starlink is encroaching on them, and they're probably going to try figuring out if there's any way that they can ban or restrict or reduce or whatever service. And the bottom line is they can't.
Nope.
Sorry. Not in the U.S. The local telcos, that's just the way it is. They're just going to have to fix themselves or fix themselves out of business. That's just the way it is. Thank you once again, John, for the super chat. Really do appreciate all of those super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Warmly, warmly welcome. Let's see.
AM
Scott?
radio has far better range than FM radio.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
To buy a Starlink dish here in New Zealand. Oh, I read that one.
Got that.
Ian, question. Even FM radio is crap. I use it. iHeart app to get my local radio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. So you can get AM over, like almost like basically over the internet. You can do that. Absolutely. iHeartRadio will do it. Let's see. Aloha.
Gypsy.
How are you doing, Gypsy?
Aloha from Oahu. This message sent via some Starlink sat.
That is awesome. See that? We have Hawaii. Sweet. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Richard, thank you for the great videos. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Ian says hello from Toronto.
Hello,
Canada.
Toronto.
I hope Canada allows Elon to put ground stations in your country, because I don't see any on the map. Let me know if I'm wrong. And that is not an Elon thing. That would be a country thing. So we'll see what happens with that. That will definitely speed up your service. Peter says, no, normally you have only one WAN connection. Europe, yeah. Over here, well, we're doing multiple for sure to make sure that we get it. Everything coming in quickly. We got Alaska here. How are you doing?
Sitka.
Sitka, wow.
Sitka. That's like the movie, The Proposal. Sitka. Alaska.
That is awesome.
That is far away.
Bijan. Tomorrow, SpaceX launches a bath of 1.5 satellites. And so once again, And it says on the 18th, they'll be launching the 2.0 satellites. I'm going to say they're the 2.0 minis because the 2.0s won't be able to go up until we see Starship actually launch. But yes, so we're going to see another 50 some of 1.5s and probably another 21 version 2.0 minis. That's awesome. Alex says, once fiber is available in your area, will you still keep Starlink? I will actually. I would keep, even if I had fiber here, I would keep Starlink as a backup. In South Florida, we get hurricanes, and there's a lot of people. Matter of fact, Arnie, I don't know if Arnie is still on, but Arnie actually went to fiber. He was down for a few days, and he called, or he got in contact with Starlink and said, listen, please turn my service back on. They turned it back on within an hour or two, and now he's on both. Because his fiber went down for a couple of days. And this is the kind of stuff that happens.
You have to have a backup.
You have to have a backup for everything.
You know, everybody relies on one thing, technology, but then the moment that's gone, then that's it. You're done.
You got nothing.
You have nothing, Backup, always.
Kamikaze Ozzy says, turkey and quail eggs are delicious. Yes. 110%. Peter, I don't know why, but when I've watched your videos, I also snap my fingers at the same time as you do. When we do this, I just disappear.
Yes.
yes.
And thanks, Peter, for keeping tabs and moderating for us.
Everyone doing the moderation there. We do appreciate that. Flying Pretzel says, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
That is the question.
I really don't know.
What is it?
What is the answer? Let's see. Inductive Soul says, in my area, speeds used to be up. It just bounced, of course. It used to, it used to drop as low as 5 megabits during peak. Now they're as high as 50 megabits or 150 megabits during off peak. So yeah, things are getting better. Just like in my video that I did today, I actually showed you my speeds, and the speeds are really great right now. They're doing much better than they were. I hope the upload speeds increase, but download speeds are definitely on point. Let's see. Let's keep on going. Kamikaze says, Ian Muddy says better than $1 million he originally went with. Yeah, that's for sure. Phil Camping says, here in Australia, we have a $250 deal for rural areas only, and is restricted for only work at residence. So that's not bad. $250 for the kit instead of $599 that we pay here. That's not bad. Ashton says, I feel Starlink sats can help with self-driving cars. They could, absolutely. If they are linked to the sats and everyone. Yeah, so you would actually need to have, I would imagine this. Now, tell me if you guys think that I'm wrong here. Elon Musk, picture this, Elon Musk, Teslas, the roof of the cars, the ones that do not have sunroofs, the roofs of the cars underneath the skin is a Starlink.
Is that for real?
No, I'm just speculating.
That's what I'm. Well, that's why.
Doesn't that sound right? Doesn't that sound good? You wouldn't know that it's there. They would basically be able to take the dish, take it apart, and take that array and stick it underneath the skin of the top of the roof.
Are you designing something?
Yeah. So if you're listening, Elon, I want royalties. I want something. But could you imagine that? And literally, the array could be like this, right over the entire car. And now you'd have a bigger dish driving around in the car.
I don't understand why some people that have the Tesla cars, but they still can't drive.
Because they just need to hit auto. And just
I wish they would.
Let the car drive. All right, so that I can't help you with.
Yeah,
right?
well, I thought that was going to help, that.
No, that I can't help you with.
Ian said, I don't think it's the battery. I think it's the electronics.
Maybe that's it. It's possible. Gray says, I'm in southern Ontario, Canada, and my ground station's in New York. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Once again, Canada does not have ground stations. I don't believe so. Anyone from Canada, let us know in the chat right now. Is there any ground stations near you? I don't think there are. Mm-hmm. And if there isn't any, I assure you it's not because Elon won't put them there. It's got to be a country thing. It's got to be a political thing, some kind of governmental thing or something. Anyways.
Morgan Overhold, does Speedify support full Starlink speeds? I've seen many VPNs that have slower speeds.
No. Yes, it supports full speed. So when I use it with T-Mobile and Starlink, For example,
You
my
want to put it back up there?
yeah, like so my upload speeds. So right there, you can see the Speedify is up, and right now we're sending 3 or 4 megs up, more megabits up on both the Starlink and T-Mobile. But if I upload with these both bonded together, instead of getting like 10 or 15 megabits up, I will get like 30 to 36 megabits up. So it does bond the two connections together. So yes, you do get faster speeds.
Did you do that?
Let's see. Kyle Owens, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. It says, did you make a video on the new Starlink plans? Your Starlink playlist is so helpful. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
really appreciate
Kyle.
that. I did not, but yes, there are new plans, and I kind of discussed it in my last, like 3 videos ago. I was talking about those plans. But basically you have 4 plans. You have your standard, your mobile, and then your standard, your mobile, and then your standard, your priority, your mobile, and your mobile priority. Both of your priorities are quote unquote business class, let's call it, whereas your standard and your other just regular mobile are just kind of standard service. So, and you pay accordingly. But they do have a thing now where you can actually get priority data by paying for it. I think it's like $2 a gigabit or something, I don't know. But you can pay for priority data. Now, priority data is not like what we used to call priority data, which was our standard data, but the fast one, where if it was, let's say, off data or off peak data, or as they used to call it, best effort data, was slower. The peak data, or the, let's say, priority data now is like 200 megabits down in comparison to 100 megabits down. So it is definitely faster, but you're going to pay for it. But you can actually get the system itself, or the plan itself, and then get always priority data or business class. So yeah, maybe I'll do a video on that. But yeah, they definitely did put out a whole list. And if I find it, I'll bring it up before the end of before the end of this live. Let's see.
Sakaf, FYI, the movie wasn't filmed here. Bummer. People wanted it, but the mayor fought it. Everything you see is East Coast footage. That is a bummer. It's always some governmental. I'm not even gonna go there. That has to put their foot in it. I'm gonna leave it there.
Can you imagine that? They didn't film the movie?
It's all East Coast footage.
Instead of what? It was supposed to be what, Alaska, right?
In Sitka.
Yeah, Sitka. Amazing. That is just horrible. That is horrible.
Yeah, well.
That's Hollywood, though. That's how it is. But the government doesn't want it.
It was the mayor
exactly.
fought it.
The mayor says, hey, we don't want it.
Yeah.
You're going to, I don't know. Yeah. So Kamikaze says, I hope my local cable company goes out of business. I hope they do too. even only 10 years ago,
wow, we're on a roll
they
tonight.
couldn't see the writing on the wall, and they still continue to push their TV packages instead of internet. Exactly. They're idiots. They have been idiots forever, and I hope they get everything they have asked for.
That they deserve.
All of the seeds of hate that they have sowed, I hope they reap all of it. They just reap every bit of it. The same reason why I hope all the telcos go out of business, with now all of the satellite service being able to, look, like I said before, everything is data.
Yeah.
And when you can get Starlink eventually at gigabit speeds, because I do believe that will happen, what is left? I think about it. I mean, yes, you can have fiber on the ground, but you still should have a backup. And I think Starlink would be the perfect backup even if you have fiber. And if you don't have fiber, you can get fiber speeds, let's just say, non-terrestrial.
And realistically, not everybody will ever, I don't think, be able to have fiber. Because there's very rural areas, mountainous areas. A lot of people are moving out of the cities into more rural areas. So, I think that definitely... you're always going to need something else.
What we've noticed on this channel is that a lot of people that follow me, not only do I do the photo and video stuff, as always done, but I do the Starlink stuff too. And the people that are here for the Starlink, a lot of the folks are people that are either off-grid, or they're folks that have, after COVID, decided to work from home. either because they have to or they want to.
Right.
And now they need to have service in areas that are not normally mainstream city type areas. And Starlink has just been a godsend for the majority of them. And that's just
well, it was for us, so.
Let's see. T-shirt logo, Starlink keeps me connected. See that?
Yeah,
there's a logo.
that's a good one.
Starlink keeps me connected. I like it. Are you writing these down? Because they're not going to end up showing up later on.
Where would you like me to write them down?
It's a good question.
Where in this whole situation?
We'll go back in the video.
Yeah.
We're not going to lose it. We're not going to lose it.
I know we're not going to lose it because I always go back in the video.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to tie my shoes in the morning. Just so you guys know.
Then
it's true.
Why am I here?
Well, let's see. Scott says, I wonder if Elon's Tesla have Starlinks in them. I think they will eventually. I really do think they will. In Mexico, this is Morgan, says in Mexico, Starlink just went back to normal pricing, 470 USD. For the last month, it was 350. So yeah, they just went back up in price. Let's see. Inductive Soul says Speedify is really good. I have paired it with multiple gigabit. There you go. So Inductive Soul says that he has paired Speedify with multiple gigabit connections, and it works well. That's what I assumed would happen. That's awesome. That's good to know. Let's go to here, and then we'll come up. Eric, thank you so much for that super
Thanks,
chat.
Eric.
Really do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chats, like I always say, are warmly welcome and appreciated. It says, love your channel. You are a Class A tech genius and nerd.
You're a nerd.
I am a nerd. Look, I got the nerdery shirt on.
Yes, welcome to the nerdery.
Your Starlink videos, I love. Keep them coming. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I now have 195 or 196 just in the Starlink playlist alone, and 950, I think, 900 and something, somewhere around there, total videos on the channel.
That's pretty impressive.
God, it's just
You're
crazy.
such a nerd. I love it. Remember Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah, I am a nerd. I've always been a nerd, though.
Yes. In disguise, in disguise.
Big Wave Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, he says, great content. Set up Starlink for my parents out in the boonies of
Yes.
Arizona with Verizon. Move coverage away from them. They love it.
That's awesome.
Awesome. That is awesome. See, that's good to know. If you do need a backup, Verizon home backup works good. T-Mobile home backup or T-Mobile home internet also works fantastic. And that's what I'm currently doing. I'm doing T-Mobile and Starlink, combining them together with Speedify. And that's working awesome. So that is great. Glad that you were able to do that for your parents. I mean, you know, when you don't have, people don't understand this, but when you do not have high-speed internet access and then all of a sudden you're given it, and now you're watching 4K videos, you are on a FaceTime call with your grandkids, for example, and you can see them and they're not digitized and blurry, and you can see them sharp like if they're actually there. There's something to be said about that, you know?
Yeah.
When you actually have that, it's just amazing.
Because everything is like that. That's our communication now. I mean, especially like when the V happened, that was it. That's all you had to see the outside world.
Right.
You know? So I think that just pushed us forward that much faster.
Yeah.
You know?
I think those 2 years really pushed everyone forward. They got people thinking about not going to 9-to-5 jobs anymore and opening their own business, number one. Number two, working from home if they can.
Right.
A lot of people are doing that. Even doctors that I know are working from home, doing a lot of telemedicine.
Well, I was going to say that spiraled all of that because that wasn't a thing before. You know, you couldn't even get a doctor to call you back when you left a message.
Yeah. And
now they have businesses completely opposite to what it used to be. So
yeah, it's really amazing where things have gone, and it all just has to do with data.
I mean, some is good, and then of course there's always some that's not so good.
Absolutely. Here's a question from Gray. Let's see. He says, is it possible to have roam for a couple of months and then move to residential until I'm ready to go back? Yes. It's not called roam anymore. It's called mobile. or mobility or whatever. But yeah, you can go from mobile to residential, from residential to mobile, and back and forth. You never used to be able to do that because they used to have something called portability, and you'd pay $25 a month for portability. They don't have that anymore, so now they let you move back and forth services. So yes, the answer to that is yes. Alex says, is the Starlink app, when setting up the dish for the first time, based off the router or the dish? Because I am going to be on the roof setting it up. So when you're setting that up, as long as you are close enough to it, you'll be able to get the app through your router. But yes, you need to set it up through the router. So, you know, I would set it up on the roof first and then come down inside, let's say, and then do the rest of the setup. Because what you got to understand is there's nothing that you need to do on the roof that you need to have access to the software. You're going to be, let's say if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're going to be pointing that towards the northeast, and that's where you're going to mount it, and that is it. And then once it comes online, it's going to reposition itself to the exact direction that it needs to point to according to your geographic location anyways. So you really don't need to do anything until you come back inside anyway. So don't be sitting up there and go and fall off a damn ladder. You don't need to. Let's see. I agree. My speeds. This is from Seika. He says, I agree. My speeds have been getting faster and faster. Broke 300. Oh my God, 300 a couple of times, but mainly around 220 and 250. That's still just amazing. Just think about those speeds. That is great. That is great. David says electricity. Benefits farms.
Benefited farms.
Benefited farms. They increase their output. Internet doesn't help people who live in the nowhereville. Don't do anything better on the internet. I said, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that is absolutely the case for sure. Mr. Smith, what does he say?
Chicken had to come first in order to lay the egg.
How did they get here?
From Starlink. From the
How did the chickens get here then? Or maybe they were dropped off. They could be dropped off.
They could be.
Let's see, Alex. Let's see. Moving down to CG Long, it says, okay. Let's see, or geezers like us. CG said.
We are not geezers.
I'm not a geezer.
No one here is a geezer.
There is no geezers.
We are all cool
just
people.
Popped up? Did I miss something?
What did you do?
Oh, right here. Let's see, Mike. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Hey, Mike.
How are you doing this evening, Mike? Thank you. He says, my decision to get away from AT&T 10 megabits DSL and switch to Starlink was mostly based on your videos, and I am glad I did.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Tell Elon.
Yeah, somebody.
let him know. I can't even imagine if I got $100, let's say, for every person that switched over or that I've had move into Starlink, I would be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But he don't care. But you know what? I do it because.
But you guys care.
Yeah, I do it because I really enjoy, giving back.
And you wanted to help.
And helping people.
Because nobody helped you.
Because
there was no one here to help you.
There was no one. When I first started, I was in beta. I couldn't get a touch of technical support, no one. And I knew it was so annoying. So I figured that if I learn this stuff, I could just, whatever I learn, I can tell you guys, and then you can hopefully get some value out of it. And I'm glad to see that you are getting value from it. That's awesome.
Eric says, LOL, you guys are funny. Good. I'm glad you're having fun. It can't just be all tech and,
No.
Like then it's boring. It's Friday night. Who wants to be bored on a Friday night?
Absolutely. You read some.
Let's see. Claudio. I work in bank, but from home after COVID. See, good for you.
There you go.
See that? That's good.
A lot of people are doing that.
Steven, tech question. I need to update my iPhone. I went on the website and was all ready to buy, but it said I would lose my current plan. Of course they did. So I stopped. How do I overcome this?
It's a problem. And anyone that has been grandfathered into these telcos plans, they make it so damn difficult for you to keep the plan that what I do is that if you want to keep your plan, don't tell them that you're going to get a new phone. Just get a new phone, switch out your SIM card, and call it a day. I know what they want to do is give you a phone for $10 and then have you pay for it for the next 36 months, $10, $10 forever, and all of this kind of crap.
Because people don't see that
It is a
$10,
fake-
but you're just tied in there
It's
forever.
basically a fake contract. It's a contract.
Right.
Don't do it. Keep your service. If you're grandfathered into something great, just go buy a phone. I know it's expensive. Go grab a used one. Just grab a phone.
And
Take
can
your
I
SIM
tell
and stick
you,
it in.
I mean, we all know this. There is nothing that they upgrade that is worth the amount of money that they charge people for, okay?
It's ridiculous.
That is, yeah. And they're one little thing and they're charging like 50% more than the other one. And then some people sit there and actually wait in line like crazies for this stuff. So most of the time, I think this is the first one that we bought new for me, but usually we get refurbished.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and they work
absolutely.
fine. Like no problems.
No.
So save your money.
Yeah, and see the thing is this. These phones, I mean, the majority of the iPhones, if you guys know it or not, if you look at it, they increase the processor a little bit. And then what they do is they give you a better camera. It's like these days, literally the phones, you're paying for the camera more than you're paying for anything else. It's the same damn phone. And what they do is they literally make these phones worse and worse and worse as time goes by. They used to do it and they got caught doing the whole battery trick. Oh, we're going to slow down your processor as your battery ages because we want you to have the best service as possible. And your service will get, let's say, lesser if your battery goes down. What a bunch of bullshit is that, right? So what that is as your battery ages, they can slow down your processor, right? So that you're like, well, damn, my phone is going slower and slower. I might as well buy a new phone. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally on purpose.
Yeah, it's just.
And
this is what they
also,
do.
I have an alien head. I'm okay with it. And all of these cameras, horrid. If you take your picture or a selfie and you're just too close to here,
If you're on the edge,
it just elongate. It makes people look distorted.
Yeah, no,
just,
it's horrible.
Stop. It has to be at the perfect angle.
yeah, right dead center.
So that's when you have to go back to old school pictures too.
Use a camera.
Yeah.
Instead of a camera
And
phone.
because if you want to blow something up later or do something of quality, then you can. That's another point.
use
But
an actual
that's a whole
camera.
other
Absolutely.
issue.
Gypsy Jeeper, thank you so much for the super chat. Really do appreciate that.
That's
tonight.
awesome.
Thank you.
It takes a
nerd to know a nerd.
That is awesome. Love it. Busted.
I love
Hashtag.
it. That is true. Alan, thank you so much. Alan Banks, thank you for the super chat. I love this little dude here. Look at this. He drops the mic.
Yes,
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Alan. Really do appreciate that super
Skip
chat.
Michael. First time here on Friday. Thank you to both of you. Thanks for being with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Skip.
John,
Thank you for being here.
do you think Starlink disc will change sides?
Change size?
Sides.
Where do we got that?
Right
I
here.
think Starlink disc
Will change sides.
I think
Maybe
he's
it's
saying,
size.
Yeah, I think he's saying the size. So yes, they had 200 dishes that they were working on testing. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. I reported on, and they are trying different size dishes, and one of the dish is a little tiny one. That they were working on. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, where they're going to go with it. But yeah, they're going to have different ones coming out. Not right now, but in the future for sure. Let's see what else we have here.
Scott says fiber is cheap. I eat wheat Bix daily. Lol.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Ian, cell phone data instead of phone service. Even if you can't get data to you, could use Starlink for backhaul.
Soon. So Starlink is actually getting they're in bed with T-Mobile backhauling. So yes, I don't know if you can do it right now, but it's a possibility. So hang out for that. I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm not 100% certain, but I know that they're working on a lot of different backhauling methods with the version 2.0s because they're going to have actually radios on board, 12 gigahertz radios and all kinds. They're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So we'll see where they go with it.
Boonies, yes, to all of us in the boonies.
Yes, boonies. Love the booniers. That's right. I work in a bank, but at home after COVID. That was from Claudio. Let's see, coming down here. Morgan, yes. You got Morgan.
Where I am located, there is no other ISP or cell service with more than 10 megabits.
Yeah.
Would two Starlink dishes bonded with Speedify improve reliability?
It would absolutely.
Can you put that Speedify window up?
Let me go. We'll throw that back up. So this is the problem. Reliability, if you have two Starlinks, will probably not give you better reliability, because if one Starlink went down, chances are the other one's going to go down too, because that means it has to do with satellite or it has to do with something, right? So it will give you faster speeds by bonding two Starlink services together, but it's not going to give you better reliability because you're still using the exact same service. So my suggestion would be using a different ISP as a backup to get not only the extra speed, but also the better reliability. Hope that made sense.
Peter, it is so crazy you don't have fiber. Do you live in rural areas? Yet in Denmark, they started rural areas first and then the cities.
Could you imagine people in Denmark actually have some freaking common sense? We don't. Honestly, they just,
I had nothing to say.
No, honestly, I'm being 100% serious. Here in the U.S., they'll give fiber to the cities, and the rural areas or the suburbs just won't get it. That's it. They're too far out. They don't want to spend the money on the infrastructure, and that's just simply it. Even though they're getting a ton of money from the government, they don't do it. All that money, like I said in today's video, goes into their coffers instead of actually going to the people. That the government is the people, right? Where the money is coming from, but they don't help. Ian, you got Ian's there?
Yes. Then you can that for cars, especially tunnel places with a lot of trees and such.
Yes. So yeah, obviously, if you're going to be, he was probably talking about the Tesla, and I was speculating that Tesla would end up having inside the car itself a Starlink, let's say, in the roof. I would imagine that probably would be the case, but yeah, if you're inside a tunnel, you're going to get no service, no matter what. You're not going to get you're not going to get any mobile service usually inside a tunnel either. So everything is pretty much dead at that point. Let me say in and out. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you. Really Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. It says, do you guys have a video covering a router that will cover lots of clients? I use lots of 2.4 gigahertz light bulbs. Starlink routers tap out at a third of my house lights. Great works. Okay, so that's interesting. So you're looking to do a bunch of 2.4 gigahertz lights, and they're all going to be separate on that. And you're saying that the Starlink router kind of taps out there. So what I would do in that situation is I would go from the Starlink to a dongle, from the dongle into a third-party router, right? Third-party router. See how many connections, 2.4 connections you can use with that router. And then I would simply piggyback off that router into another router and into another router off that dongle. So you could technically have like 3 routers if you wanted to, however many you need to be able to run all of them and stick them on the exact same network and have it all fed through Starlink through the dongle. So that's something that you can do. The other way to do it is obviously to spend a lot more money on one of the mesh networks that can handle hundreds of nodes, let's call it. But it just really depends on what you want to do and how much you want to spend. But being able to just branch off and combine them is usually an easy way to go. So that would be my suggestion on how to do that. Also, using 2.4 gigahertz and dividing it off, people don't know this. This is like a little tidbit, a little bonus for tonight. I recommend that everyone divides their Starlink router, their 2.4 gigahertz divided out from the 5.0 gigahertz. And the reason being is now you can connect to either 5 gigahertz when you're close to get faster speeds, or the 2.4 for slower speeds. What I also do is I will give, like, for example, the guests that come over the 2.4 gigahertz, which is slightly slower, right? But it has a longer range. And then I'll use QoS like in another router if I need to actually be able to delineate how much each person gets. And then I'll do that division in a different router besides doing it just in Starlink. So dividing those up is a good way to kind of segregate traffic. Even though Starlink has almost no manageability at all, it does give you that means of dividing it off, which is kind of cool.
Cool. Kamikaze says, yes, love not needing to go into my doctor's office. He calls me on FaceTime and we review labs or any concerns. I know, it's so great.
That is amazing.
So
Telemedicine, awesome.
Yeah.
John says, you're using VP dose slow your speeds down. I'm not sure what John, what you're saying with that. Repeat that one if you can, John. David says, he's saying over to Peter.
Gray Natalin, I'm on mobility, the old Roam plan. How long would you recommend pausing my service if and when I do pause service? Could I use the system to break itself?
So I did a video on that, and some people have written in and said that they had their Starlinks turned off for months, and then when they turned it back on, it wouldn't come back, and they ended up bricking it. Basically, they ended up having to get a new system. Starlink will send a new system to you, but then you're out for however long. And that the reason is because the firmware can't catch up. So if you're behind so many firmware updates, sometimes it just can't catch up. So yeah, I would say plug it in every once in a while. I actually have a timer. It might be down below on Amazon. I found this really cool digital timer. And what it does is it will turn on, if you need to, Starlink like once a week, or once every other week, or every Sunday, or whatever, and then leave it on for X number of hours and then turn back off. If you do that when you're away, you're going to know that your system is always up to date. That's my suggestion.
Ian answered about how the chickens get here. Same as humans, they were put by God, and he said, be fruitful and multiply. Love you.
And they do. And I'm glad that they do.
Yes, we love us some chicken and eggs.
Loving some chicken.
Let's see.
Love it, Ian.
Fran Ditta, any concerns with speed while running VPN when using Speedify?
One more time. Francis, any concerns with speeds while running VPN? So VPN is running all the time with Speedify. There's no way to shut that's not true. There is a way to shut the VPN off. Any VPN, any virtual private network, is going to give you some latency. And the reason being is VPNs have additional hops because your data has to go encrypted through another server somewhere. So let's say if you do a ping to Cloudflare's DNS or 1.1.1.1 or 8.8.8.8 Google's DNS server, and let's say you're getting 4 hops to get there. If you go through a VPN, it might take 6 hops to get there. So you're going to add additional latency. That's just the nature of the beast. There's no two ways about it. So yes, any VPN is going to give you a little bit extra latency. But for me, the security of it is worth that little bit of milliseconds. Hope that helps.
Tom says everyone needs more fiber, especially in their diet. Yes, they do, Tom.
That is true. That is true. Need more fiber in the backyard and in the diet.
Michael in Michigan, where there is still a wait list. If you go from standard to mobile and want to go back to standard, you get put back on the wait list to get back to standard. Holy cow, that's a lot.
It sucks. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It is a problem. But we saw the map earlier today. If you go to starlink.com/map, you will see the map, and like all of the West Coast from central US, the entire central all the way over to West Coast is all wide open. So it's closing down. There's a lot less wait list as of today. And that
it's maps, right? With an S?
Yeah, I think it's map or maps. Let me see. Know. We have it right here. It's map. Just map. Okay. Matter of fact, this is what it looks like, guys. So let's go and move this over so you can see it. So this is map. Go to starlink.com/map. And
I wrote it in the comments too.
Did you write in there?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what it looks like. And matter of fact, let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see. So this is the US. And as you can see, it is a massive chunk of it. This entire central all the way to the West Coast is wide open. And just over here on the east and central, this little area right here is all that is left. So Florida was all waitlist earlier, but look at it now. All of southern
right
Florida,
across from
right?
Tampa Bay to Tampa to Palm Bay North. There
is where you have a waiting list,
right.
but everything south is wide open.
Yeah.
So hopefully you will see this all closed down. But yeah, here in Michigan, you can see it's all dark. So this is going to be a waiting list. And if we come in here to this little patch here, it says available, this little area right north of Greenville. But now if we go to Greenville, it says expanding in 2023. So it looks like this year we're going to see the US 100% covered. But for right now, it's not. Sadly so.
Inductive Soul. Refurbished phones were used from Swappa are great if you're in the U.S. Well, there you go, guys. There's
Swappa. I
never heard of that place either. That's cool.
That is really cool.
Inductive Soul, if you have a link for people, just put in the comments section.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Sure there's a lot of people that can use that.
Yeah.
Fred's model, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Hi, Fred.
How you doing, Fred, tonight?
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. It says, I see you have your connections as primary. Why not have them on automatic? So I'm going to do a whole video on this. You can set your connections, like, let me flip back over. So as you can see on Speedify, what he's asking is you can see the Ethernet, which is Starlink, is set to primary, and the TM or T-Mobile connection is also set to primary. What this means is that it's going to use both connections equally. And at the top, you can see streaming redundantly. If it was not having any problems with either T-Mobile or Starlink, it would up here say streaming bonded or bonding for speed. But since it was having problems with one of these networks, it's saying redundant, meaning it's sending, you can see here, equally through T-Mobile and through Starlink. You see here it says 2 meg and the other one is 2 megs. When one goes to 3, the other one goes to 3, so on and so forth. So this is what happens here. Now, the reason I set them for primary is meaning that they're going to be equally used. If you set, let's say, the T-Mobile to secondary, what that will do is it'll say, listen, use all the time Starlink, but if Starlink starts getting a little funky, then start using T-Mobile. Don't use it unless you absolutely have to. You can also set it for backup. That means that it will not use it at all until it absolutely has to. So there's different ways of setting it up based on your use case. And this is really important if you are someone that's using a backup that is data driven. So that's, let's say if you're using a little SIM card and you're paying per gigabyte for it, well, you obviously don't want to use that at all unless it absolutely is necessary. And at that point, you would set it up for backup. So I don't like setting anything for automatic. Not even my cameras are always set to manual because I'm anal retentive and I want to be in control.
Alan, fam.
Hopefully that helps, Fred.
Hey, Kevin. Hey. John, the new phones don't have a ready SIM card now. No, they don't.
Nope. Yep, you have to just take your SIM card out and stick it in there. That's basically it. Move it over.
Alex, which dual WAN router has good failover and a better fallback? I did see your video regarding this, but in the end, it was Speedify.
So if you want to use a router, the best router that not the best router, but the router that is the best value right now is the UTT. Look down below in the comment area. You're going to see that. UTT, go and find that router. I've tested like a dozen so far. If you want like the best of the best of the best, $500 from PepLink, you can get like a 20x balance, which is awesome. They also have something that's very similar to Speedify, but you're going to be paying the $500 for it. You're going to be paying another $250 for a mobile little add-on module. You're going to be paying a yearly. You're going to be paying monthly. You're going to be paying. So it just depends on how much you want to spend. Okay, but right now the best cost-effective or value is the UTT. Hopefully that helps.
Eric said, your mesh network video you made was awesome. Used it to set mine up with Starlink. It's awesome.
So glad
That's
that
great.
that helped. That worked. That's awesome. I'm going to have to put together, I'm going to put I'm going to be doing, let me know what you guys think about this. I'm just going to throw it out to you. I want to come up with 2 books. One is a Starlink book, basically soup to nuts. I've done almost 200 videos on Starlink right now. It's very hard for me to tell people to go and watch 200 videos because they're just chock full of just good information. Some of this stuff I don't even remember myself because I'm sharing it literally the minute that I'm getting it.
Right, as I'm
going through this process, I'm sharing it with you guys. So my thought was to come up with a book that literally would show you everything that you need to know, kind of like a manual. It'd be, yeah. I have a name for it, kind of, but it's going to, like some type of book. What do you think about that? And just offering it to people that are just getting into Starlink and know literally from the very beginning what to buy before they even get their Starlink and why to buy it. Because like I always say, this channel is always about the why. And I think I want to make a book that's all about the why too. So many books, they'll tell you the how, how to do this, how to do that, how to do that. But if you don't know why, then when something goes south, you don't know how to fix it, right? I think the why is so important. But anyways, what do you think about that? Coming up with something like that. Who's that? Is Siri talking?
See, I didn't do anything. This is all I have in my hands. This stuff
Siri
is
just said that she doesn't understand.
You see that? Nothing. I had nothing.
See that?
And my phone is all the way over here. They're listening to
she didn't
everything.
Understand.
Freaky.
We didn't want her to understand, but she's still listening.
But she's still listening, exactly.
Damn these people. Anyways.
Damn them.
Hopefully that helps. Let me know what you think about a book.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, now I lost my
Don't lose.
It scrolled. It scrolled. It scrolled.
Here's Ian. He says, I would think tunnels would need cell coverage in the cars. Self-driving would need.
That was a long time ago.
That's a little while ago. But you know what? They could do it. They can simply bring coverage into a tunnel without a problem.
No, it wasn't that long.
They just need to move it. They can move it in there, no problem. Phil says, I'm going to try Speedify with Starlink and the mobile data and mobile phone data live on YouTube in the next day. Still trying to figure out why my Sony camera is only streaming at 480. That's a good question. I don't even know the answer to that. That is really, really strange. Just move send the camera's clean HDMI feed into your computer, use OBS, and then stream through OBS. That will just fix your 480 problem in a second. Just call it a day. Let me know now that you got Speedify and you're going to be streaming through a mobile network as well as your Starlink. Let me know if you're getting the exact same thing that I'm getting here, where it's just simply working. Let me know.
Ian said cell phone cameras killed the standalone camera like DSLR. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. But if you need a camera or if you need photographs, when you go and look at photographs that were taken with a phone later on, low light or whatever, and you go and print them out, they look like complete shites. So, I mean, my suggestion is always have a camera. The phone is good for little snapshots, but later on when something is important and you actually do want to get in there and print something, they just don't really look that good, especially in low light.
All right, where'd you leave off?
Let's see. Over here David says, can you talk about camo ideas for the reg square?
Wait, I think you lost a lot of stuff. You had to
this
go
one, right?
up.
I'll go back up. Can you talk about the camo ideas for the reg square? I'm trying to figure out what you're trying to say, David. Are you talking about the business, square business dish? Let me know, David, down below. David Wilson, let me know.
Kevin, Denmark is like the size of Maryland, though. David B. Actually, if Starlink were to develop it properly, multiple dishes spread out over 1 acre of land could increase your reliability through dish interferometry.
Yes. Unless David, there's a problem not with the dish, but the problem is with your ground station or your POP. And at that point, since all of your dishes on the ground will be using the same POP, you're going to have no service. And that's why I always say that multiple service redundancy is always better doing it that way. But yes, I agree with what you're saying. It would help unless the problem is elsewhere, basically.
Fran did a t-shirt idea. Starlink, boonies or bust. I like it, Fran.
Starlink, boonies or bust.
That's a good one.
I like it. What would it look like? What would be the picture of that, the boonies? I don't know. We have to think about it. I like it.
That,
what does John says? Nope, near me. It's regulatory thing for sure. The big three in Canada won't have it. Rogers, TELUS, and Bell Canada run everything. Priority. So there you go. That's why Starlink is not in Canada. You can use Starlink in Canada, but all of the ground stations are in the US. And there you go. John Murphy just said the reason, and the reason is Rogers, TELUS, as well as Bell Canada, and it's regulatory. They will not have it. It's governmental. So like I said, Elon wants ground stations in Canada. Trust me, he does. But the government won't have it. Arnie says, can't place a link in the chat. So I sent an email, and the link to the map of ground stations, and some of them are under construction. Thanks a lot, Arnie. Maybe we will, what I'll do is I'll see if I can bring those up, and then what I'll do is I will give it to everyone so that they can go and check that out. Matter of fact, you know what I'll do? I'll do it in a video. I'll take a look at it later on, because we're starting to get long in the tooth here. We've been on for a while. We've been over 2 hours. So
really?
We want to kind
Again?
Again. So we want to kind of zoom through these a little bit, and then we'll get off and let everyone have a good Friday night. Let's see. What is Sylvia? Sylvia says here, how do you use two different internet services like Starlink and T-Mobile at the same time? So I'm using Speedify for that, and I have, let me see. I have Starlink coming in. Matter of fact, you can see it here. I have Starlink coming in on the Ethernet, and I have T-Mobile coming in through Wi-Fi. And Speedify just basically bonds the two together, but on a bit by bit level, a packet level in comparison to a session level. So we do get true bonding, and we get faster speeds, and we get the redundancy of the two connections. Hopefully that helps.
Where are we at?
Let's see, right around here, I believe, unless we missed something up here. No, I think it's right around here. Question, that'd be about the tunnels. Oh, here we go. Phil says, I'm going to be trying Speedify. Oh, we already read that one. Okay. Let me come down here, East Coast. You go to the next one. Inductive Soul, thank you so much once again.
Yes,
wow, look at that. You are amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being here with us too.
Really do appreciate it. Really, really do appreciate it. That's warmly welcome. Those super chats are just so nice. Thank you.
Ian, maybe Elon can make a big business and sell his rockets to other companies like Blue Origin.
He's basically doing rideshare for these people anyways. A lot of them, like OneWeb, a lot of these companies are finding out that launching the rockets on a frequent basis is just not viable for them. And on the back end, they're having discussions with SpaceX to be able to put their satellites into orbit anyways. So this is what's going on. So yeah, it is what it is. Right now, Elon has it in spades. You have a rocket system that can literally be reused within days. Landing on drone ships and then ferried back to shore, revamped a little bit, fueled up, and ready to launch off. Some of these rockets have already been up 7-8 times with no problem. It's just crazy.
A couple of people like your book idea. I think your Starlink Graina Delin. I think your Starlink information book is a great idea. There are so many questions that could be answered. Phil said, thanks, I will try OBS. David said the problem with a soup to nuts book on Starlink is they change everything in a couple of months, then your book is out of date again.
Yeah, so I was thinking about doing it as an ebook instead of a physical book, even though I wrote how to create a digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life. That's on Amazon. That book was basically me going through the process of building a RAID server, an unRAID server. I think this would be an ebook. And then I would do something where people would actually, maybe you would just purchase the book with unlimited updates or something like that, right? So as things maybe come into existence, I can add to it and make changes, and you would always have access to the latest and greatest. And you'd have almost like a field manual, like a Bible that you'd be able to go back to. I just think it'd be a really good idea because there's nothing like that. And I have so much information just cobbled together since the beta times that a lot of it goes all the way back to just the basis of just building out the infrastructure to begin with. I mean, literally to making the hole in the wall and knowing the exact size of that hole so that you can fit the end through it. I mean, just stupid stuff like that isn't stupid for people that are actually doing it. I mean, I had to drill through 8 inches of concrete. If I would have made a mistake at that hole size, it would have taken me, instead of 2 hours to drill the hole, it would have taken me 4 hours, right? To drill 2 holes. So anyways, I mean, there's a lot that I can put into it. And I think it would be good. I really do. I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much.
And you can always, update it.
Update it, exactly.
Steven said yes on the book. Arnie said, have you thought about a Twitter Space session where subscribers can talk with you?
I was thinking about Twitter just today, and I was thinking about doing something with Twitter. Now that Twitter is Twitter and not the way it was, a month or two ago, let's say, or a year ago, I would say now, I want to do more with it. I was going to do lives on Rumble. I might do live on Twitter. I kind of want to use the platform more. So yes, Arnie, I'm not sure how I want to use it as of yet, but yes, I think I want to do something with it. I think it's a great platform, and it has a lot of powerful features that are coming to it soon, and they are going to, I think it's going to be very creator friendly. Don't quote me on it, but I just feel like that's going to happen, but we'll see.
Peter asked, what are your thoughts about using TwinGate instead of using a VPN?
TwinGate. Oh, instead of using a VPN?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, either which way, you can do it in either direction. I mean, a lot of corporations want VPNs that are like local, that they have full access to, and they don't want you to like install software. They don't want anything that is not authorized on their machines and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's different ways to doing VPNs. Like right now we're using Speedify as a VPN. Before that we were using Pure VPN for a VPN. I think VPNs are good no matter how you use it, but it depends on your use case. Just like a camera. I mean, you can use, like I'm using now a Canon EOS R to do this, that's fine. But if I'm going to do fashion photography, I'm going to use a 1D. Most likely, and if I'm going to do something that is going to be like for magazines, I'll probably use a Hasselblad. Instead of a full frame, I'm going to use a medium format. Why? Because it's the right hammer for the size of the nail. So that's just the way I look at these things.
All right. Inductive Soul said you will have to Google for Swappa. That was if anybody was looking for refurbished phones.
Oh, okay.
The chat filters is out when I
Gotcha.
try to send the link.
No worries. Yeah.
David said it is always about, oh man, I just lost my spot.
It did it again.
It did it again. Wait, I found it. It's always about the government. They choose winners and losers. Yes, they do.
Yep. Gray says, by the way, I love your channel and your Starlink content. Thank you for doing it. Please keep up the Friday nights live streams with the two of you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Gray. Appreciate that.
I am loved.
You are loved.
I am wanted here, even though I know hardly nothing of what's going on.
It's just fun.
It is fun. I'm here for the entertainment.
Hanging out with you guys and
to
just
break
be able to shoot.
it up a little.
And honestly, if you have questions about anything, it doesn't have to be Starlink. It could be about the chicken. It could be about off-grid stuff.
Or random stuff.
It could be about solar. It could be about photo. It could be about video.
Or other technology, other stuff.
I'm a DP, a director of photography. I do video. I do editing on a regular basis. There's a ton of things that I do, and I'm a system administrator, so I know Unix. Or Linux, depends on which, where you're oriented.
He has gone into the nerdery.
So, any kind of questions that you have, it doesn't really matter. We can be talking about anything. It could be current events if you want to talk about current events. Anything. It doesn't have to be Starlink.
Yeah, it's Friday night. It's Friday night.
It's a hangout, right?
It's a hangout time. Hey.
What do you think about those buses that we saw on the news tonight?
I'm not going to comment on the buses that we saw on the news tonight.
Okay, we won't talk about the buses.
but
next.
I'm not a fan of the buses. I'll leave it there.
I'm not a fan of the buses.
Yeah.
Nope.
Toot toot.
Yeah. Toot toot.
Michael, I sent the link to the point of presences at Google. Okay.
Gotcha. All
cool.
right.
Cool.
Let's move on here.
Ian, Canada is fascist when company and private businesses work together like the three telcos.
Absolutely. Yep. The telcos will win. Elon will lose. And when Elon loses, the people lose because the telcos, they're like lobbyists. You know, they control everything. They control everything. I hope they go out of business.
David, thumbs up before you go. Just 3 more thumbs up to hit 100.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's awesome.
Anyone
Thanks,
not give a
David.
thumbs up,
Yay,
throw
great
a
job.
thumbs up. Thank you for keeping
And a shout out also to Peter. Thank you for always,
Peter.
Putting in to have people put a Q before questions or at JCristina. That's very helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you so much, Peter. Do appreciate that. Every time you're here, I do appreciate you. Kamikaze Ozzy says, David B., I did it for you, buddy.
Jeremy, finally catching a live show. Cheers. Watched a lot of your videos. Just got Starlink last week, and so far it's been awesome for where I live.
Congratulations,
awesome.
Jeremy. V, congratulations. You got it. Excellent. Let me see. Let's finish up. 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. Any other questions? Throw them in here. We're going to go like super quick. Ian says, question, is it Twitter or X? Yeah. David says, I think you can hit multiple platforms with StreamYard. Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can stream on multiple platforms with StreamYard. Stefan says, thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Thank you so much to both of you. Let's see. Elon said there's about a new CEO, and he will be the CTO. Yes. And Ian, I don't know how we feel about the new CEO as of yet, but we'll give her a chance. And coming from NBCU, I think it is, right? I think it's NBCU, whatever. Yes. We'll see how she does. I really don't know. But fingers crossed. But I know Elon is not stupid, and if things get stupid, she'll be gone, and then he would hire someone else in. So we'll see what ends up happening. I don't know. Let's see. Robert says, great job again. You give it a lot of useful information. Thank you, Robert, for being here. Do appreciate you.
Thanks, Robert.
Phil says you almost caught up with
the chat.
Phil. Yes, we're almost there. We almost caught up. Inductive Soul says there's a good balance between you both. Appreciate you guys.
It's my Coke and a smile.
I need a Coke. I have water, and my tea is gone. Now I just have water. Peter says, Twingate, it shouldn't be a VPN. It should be a new and better than a VPN. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen the whole Twingate thing. Any information you have on it, send a link. I'd love to hear about it. The VPNs are pretty powerful today. 250-bit military, encryption. For the most part, you're pretty safe with them. Obviously, there's always, side channels that people can get in through and whatnot. Enjoyed your live feed. This is from Phil every Saturday morning in Australian time.
That's
See that?
awesome.
Let's see, Big Wave. Big Wave Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you.
I'm out. Great content and people. Thank you for being here.
Yes,
thank you.
Thanks for spending time with us.
Arnie says, thanks, Miss Christina. Miss Christina, for the enjoyable evening. Again, cheers to all. Chat 73.
Thanks, Arnie.
To the hams. Yes. There should be a lot more hams out there. People don't understand, but if shit ever hits the fan, the hams are the ones that are going to be relaying all of the information that you get from, like, for example, for me, you would be getting it from Arnie or some other ham out there. He will be your lifeline to find out what is going on. Hopefully that never happens here, but you just never know. And there's a lot of people that used to be hams that are no longer. They don't really get into the ham radio anymore. They use the internet for connectivity. But there's a lot of services that you can do through ham radio. You can even do internet through ham radio. A lot of people don't know that. and connect point-to-point connections of antennas and go through ham. So anyways, radio signal is radio signal. There's a lot to it. And that's why I see like AM going south. It kind of pisses me off. You shouldn't do that. AM is once again another lifeline for emergency service. It is a big radio band that goes through concrete. FM has a harder time. Anything smaller and tighter wave has a hard time. So in my personal opinion, I think that, AM should stay.
Always.
I just, that's
like,
just
what
the way
is
I
the
look at
cost
it.
of like not doing it? It's so
like,
ridiculous.
It's nothing. It's nominal. I mean, it's not much at all.
I just think it's another way of trying to control things, but
let's see.
That's just me.
Yeah. Let's see. Inductive Soul says Twin Gate makes zero trust network access easy to deploy. Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. Even
Sweet.
easier to use. That's kind of cool. That is neat. I have not researched into them to see how they would work or how they the methodology behind them.
Mo Sina, excellent. Just joining your first live. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here. We've been on now. Let me see. We've been on here for 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Yes.
So we're about ready to get off.
But you can then rewatch it.
Yeah, you can rewatch it. There's a lot.
Yes.
There's probably a lot of good content
Yeah.
in here. And the thing is, it's a community chat. So a lot of the times that I'm answering questions is because I'm getting good questions from you guys.
Yeah.
And then you guys answer a lot of the questions too.
That's what makes it fun. That's the chat. We're all chatting and hanging out and catching up for the week. So that's good.
Absolutely.
We look forward to it, and we hope that you guys look forward to it too. And I think you do. So
Yep. Ian says there is a woman CEO of SpaceX.
this is true.
Yep. Women CEO
Wayne.
of Twitter.
Hey
Wayne?
Jay, if you build an off-grid system ever, thought of building your own batteries from cells, you can put together 280 amp hour batteries for a lot less money.
Send me information. JCristina@gmail.com. Once again, JCristina@gmail.com. Send that over to me. Any kind of links, any kind of information that you have, because yes, I want to do an off-grid system. Some battery companies have reached out to me, but some of them are from China, and I really, so whenever I do any type of review, or if I'm going to bring a sponsor on board, I vet them for a long period of time. Put it this way, like the Speedify people, I use them for a month. I used them for I think 5 weeks before I even said okay that I wanted to use the system, and I thought that it was good. I don't recommend stuff unless I absolutely love it. So these battery companies that have reached out to me, a few of them I just wasn't a fan of, so we'll see. Definitely send over any information that you have, because as of right now, I do not have a battery company that I would like to get together with, if you know what I mean. So
yeah. Toward Duster, hi JC, love your channel. For some reason, I have no internet connection with Wi-Fi router on 2nd gen Starlink.
Yeah, so you could have, first reboot it, first factory reboot it, unplug, since you got a 2nd generation, unplug it, plug it back in, unplug it, plug it back in 6 times in a row, consecutively, quick. It will reboot, and when it reboots, it's going to be factory reset. At that point, reset your Wi-Fi, reset your SSID, whatever you want to call the system, your password, and this kind of stuff, right? And then see if your Wi-Fi is working. If it is not working, at that point, you have a bad router. Chances are Starlink will send you a whole new kit. David says AM can go through thousands of miles. Absolutely. It's very large. Mm-hmm. Billy.
But yeah.
Billy says, did I understand that if I started off with Roam, I can change to residential? And then, yes. So if you start out with Roam, you can go to residential, and from residential, you can go back to Roam. They don't call it Roam now. They call it mobility or mobile, whatever. So yes, you can do that. You never used to be able to, but now you can. Phil says, hams... Yeah, let me go ahead and we'll switch that back over. Let's see. Phil says hams used to be very popular here in Australia. Some of the setups I've seen are amazing. I had a setup in I used to talk to people in the U.S. So there you go. Talking to people in the U.S. from Australia. that just gives you an idea of how powerful ham radio is. So yeah, there needs to be something, there's something to be said about having communication, no matter, like redundancy, right? Backup is second to godliness. I mean, you'd have to have backups, just like with your data. But yeah, I think ham radio is still something that should be. And once again, AM should not be going away. What is it? 7,500 ham radio licenses. Holy crap. I didn't know there was 750,000 hams. That's a lot, Arnie. That's a bunch.
I think we're catching up here.
Yep. And we see Kamikaze Ozzy says, the shift situation, I'll be spending more time defending my family and my home than sitting on the SSB. Kamikaze, I agree with you. There is, there will be that, if the shit ever does hit the fan, a lot of the people that are in the cities are going to be coming out to us in the rural areas and looking for refuge and looking for water and looking for food, and like as we have chicken and eggs and all the stuff that we do have out on more of a homestead that we're in, more of a rural area. So you just you'll be definitely doing different things, and like you said, you'll be defending those points also, because just because you have a lot of shit, that doesn't mean that you'll keep your shit if shit ever hits the fan, right? To be frank about it towards the end of this video. Let's see. Inductive Soul says it's worth it. I suggest checking them out. Absolutely. Let's see. Are you can come in about Alan. Alan, it says must have been on my end. Let's see. There are some good cells in China. Evo cells are good. All right. So yeah. So maybe that's something. Let me know. Let me know about battery cells. Let me know any information that you have. I'm a sponge to learn about this stuff. So definitely let me know. Inductive Soul, I've been watching the solar generator batteries, but they are a lot of money basically. So for now, I'm keeping my distance and just looking. Yeah, so I want to be able to pick up some solar panels as well as some lithiums, but yeah, some of these lithiums are like $1,500. I mean, they are crazy for just a single battery, and you need many of them. And it depends on the house, obviously, how big your home is and how many kilowatts you use per day and all the rest of the stuff you need to do. But the first system I want to make is I want to create a system that's going to run Starlink all by itself. And this way it can run through the night, and then during the day it'll recharge the batteries and so on and so forth and go on forward. I think it'll be a cool setup. Even though I don't need that setup, but it'll be good in case we get hit by a hurricane, for example. We will still have internet access, and we'll be able to charge up our phones and still be able to, even if we were without power for a week, we would still be able to have internet, which would be really good, right?
Captain Stuart Donald is joining us from Australia for the first time, tuned in and love it. Well, thanks for being here. We're almost done, but you can replay and watch us. Absolutely. And everybody's chat. I just
Arnie says Anchor, EcoFlow, Blue Yeti, the Blue Eddies, are all great battery. Yes, those are more like the battery, the stations themselves instead of the raw batteries. Absolutely, there's some good ones out there, especially some big ones. I found one that was like, man, it was like 50 pounds, all lithium, and I forgot how many it was a pretty. They're getting better and better and better. When I was looking into these about 5 years ago, they weren't even half as good as they are today. Ian says, question: if you don't need a weight issue, use sealed, or if you don't need a weight issue, use sealed lead acid. The only thing is only go 50. Yeah. So yeah, you can only go down 50% on the lead acid batteries until you start burning out cells. That is a problem. Lithium, you can go low, obviously, and you have to worry about water. And then you also have to worry about, the sealed acid is obviously better. But if you don't have the sealed and you use like golf cart batteries, then you have to worry about fumes and you got to worry about adding water and all the rest of the stuff. So yeah, sealed acid isn't a bad idea, but they don't last as long, right? So 50% usage, number one, and then plus you have to worry about replacing them more often, every 2, 3 years, 4 years or something. Alan says no to China. Yeah, that is good if you can do it. You can't always do it, but Battleborn batteries. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about the Battleborn 100 amp hours. Yes.
All right. I think we are.
All right, guys. Well,
up.
listen. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This was an awesome
Yay,
Friday night.
Another Friday night. Well done.
We did it. What do we got?
Mr. Stark.
It's supposed to be Starlink Industries, but
is
I
it
screwed
though?
it up. No,
we have to come up with our own.
Yes, we're gonna. Okay, so what we were discussing next week, we're supposed to we're supposed to be doing some push-ups, and we're gonna have a push-up cam. All right, that's next week. We're also going to have a shirt. I'm going to have a shirt made. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be squirrels. But it's going to be something.
It could be
for next week. We're going to be doing something. What else are we going to do? I'm going to throw you on my back, and I'm going to do some push-ups. See if I can do it.
That.
Right? No, but I got to do push-ups too. I got to do my 50s, right?
Yeah.
This is
You're
important
regular.
for the St. Jude's for the children.
Yes, and thank you to everybody who's donated for his fundraiser for St. Jude Children's
And before
Hospital.
you guys go, and before we go, I am going to just go. Can you look it up? On
what?
How much the donations are as of right now?
I can go to the main page. Can I not?
Yeah, you should be able to. I'm going to go and check it out real quick.
I can't.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I will check it out. I want to see what we are at right now. So if you guys don't know it, and haven't watched any of my videos, I've been doing a 3,000 push-up challenge for the month of May. And I'm looking to get $1 per push-up. This is going to be for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Let me see. All right, here we go. We are, as of today, what are we on day? We are on day 12. And we are at $1,185.52. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've donated to the St. Jude's for the 3,000 push-ups that I'm doing on any of my videos, thank you for doing so. Once again, all proceeds go directly to the children. Even YouTube have said that they will not take a single penny. Every dime will be sent directly to the charity. So that is awesome. Thank you, YouTube, for that. I think that is wonderful. And that's why I use YouTube a lot of times for doing these challenges. Last year, we did a No Shave November challenge.
No, the year before.
The year before. That was also benefiting the St. Jude's Cancer, the research hospital. And that was during the No Shave November, which was for prostate awareness. So every year I like to do at least one. I missed last year. It was really crazy
important.
last year.
We had a wedding.
Yeah.
Daughter's
multiple weddings.
Multiple weddings.
Sweating.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you for hanging out with us again tonight on our Friday night lives. We have always fun and a good time. Hope you do too.
Yeah.
And don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. And if you have friends that are looking into getting into Starlink and need help or have any other tech questions, please share the videos.
Yeah, and the channel and everything.
Yeah, and don't forget that if you need teas and your
and all the books and all the merch and
like camera gear to clean your cameras, the teas, the ebook, the free ebook, if you go to his website.
So if you go to JCristina.com/books or /books, you're going to get my ebooks for free. You can always get those. Those are always interesting. I even have a prologue to my main book, which is on Amazon, called How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. I do have the prologue in digital format, free of charge. So once again, JCristina.com/books, and all of my merch and all of the products that I've invented over the many years, like the Focus Pyramid, the Aurora Camera Care Gear, the PRT, which is a photo reference tool for getting color right. I don't talk to you guys about this very often, but it's all there. Go and check it out. You can find all of my products on B&H Photo and Video. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on my website, JCristina.com, and everywhere else. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for all of the great times.
Yes.
This is awesome. Once again, a great Friday night. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me.
Anyways, guys, have a great one. Blessings to everyone. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
TJIF, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Take care.